we've got, we can get better. Harnessing our wealth, one business at a time. The power is ours, no one else is we recognize it. That's why we in this conference and exhibition. Only we can make Nigeria great. No one else can change our nation's fate. Oh, making Nigeria, we make Nigeria. No one else can change our nation's fate. Oh, making Nigeria. We make Nigeria. Only we can make Nigeria great. No one else can change our nation's fate. We're making Nigeria. We make Nigeria.
All right, so tell somebody to your left and to your right, welcome to the day 3 of the Make It Nigeria conference. Of course, the essence of conferences like this, one of it is for you to network and know somebody. So, of course, you should know somebody's name right now. Just ask somebody, what's your name? Welcome to the day 3. And tell the person your name. And, of course, welcome that person to the day 3 of the Make It Nigeria conference. Very quickly, I'm going to do something very brief before I hand over to my boss, who is going to carry us through the length of this event for today. You may be seated, please. How many of us were here yesterday? Good. So, I'm going to give you 1 minute. I want to sell you for 1 minute, you know. When I give you the mic, I would like a second mic to go around. When I give you the mic, I want you to introduce yourself to us and tell us what you do. You know, there's a proper way to introduce yourself in public. So I'm going to first hear if you can handle that. So let's get the mic. I want to find out what was your biggest take home from yesterday's event. Probably from the panel section or from the speaker's session. Which takeaway stood out for you? So let's have a second mic, please. Those who were here yesterday, can you wave your hands again? Don't put your hands down now. All right. So there's a beautiful lady in front, a beautiful woman in front. Let's get the, where's the second mic, please? Yeah, please come. Hand the mic to her. Please, let's clap for her. Is that how you can clap in Make It Nigeria?
All right, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayam Gogo Eneyo, Director of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Ikwere Local Government. Yesterday was awesome. I was not here on Monday, but yesterday won't make me to be here today. I have a lot to do, but I have to postpone it. From the last speaker of yesterday, there's something he said that I took home. He talked about priority. And he said that his own priority, first, is spiritual. Second is the family. And third is the work. And it marvels me because most time we put our work first. When I got home, I think that changed my orientation. And from the panel, I so much enjoyed the farmer when he was telling us about his record, which one of our speakers called the 7th book of Moses. And if we look inward, actually that book is very important. But from today, we are told that, we should embrace the new. And it's only when we walk with the new and join to the old that we can bring food to the table.
Awesome.
So we have to walk with the new. Even if we don't know, like me, my children do a lot for me concerning digital things. I don't know much. But I think from now I have to learn because I know that it's important now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
clap for her again. So, Make in Nigeria Conference 15th edition is achieving her vision just from the beginning of the conference. You had two things stood out for me from what she said. She said, yesterday made her come back today. She had to postpone everything she had to do today to be here. So it means Make in Nigeria is a very, very wonderful place to be. Am I correct? Many of you who were here yesterday, I'm sure the conversations that held on this platform yesterday is the reason why you are here again today. And of course, you won't be disappointed. We have a lineup of speakers and panelists who will do justice to your expectations. All right, the second thing that stood out for me, like she said, is she has to embrace the new. That's it, guys. The essence of this conference is to make you go back with a decision. And I'm very sure the convener is happy to see that we're achieving the vision. So I want one more person from this other side. We're far behind time. Okay, there's a very fine gentleman behind there. Give him the mic. Let's clap for him, please.
Hello. Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Or good afternoon, rather. My name is Paul. I'm a team lead with Ample Assurance Limited. I think my take home yesterday was basically from the last speaker, the white man. Sorry, I don't know the name.
Mr. Philip.
Okay, Mr. Philip. When he talked about something of PDCA, it's an acronym and it stands for plan, do, check, and the last one, adjust. I think with that acronym, if you venture into any endeavor or any business enterprise, and you're able to use that PDCA to plan, to do, to check, and to adjust, I think it will take you to the height that you need to get to. And also the panel session was also a very engaging one, very interesting. Though at first, or even throughout the process, it was very dramatic. But the real thing about the panel session, it was so real. It was not like a makeup. You know, most times we say drama is to do, to make believe. But yesterday wasn't actually dramatic. The farmer or the man that represented the farming industry came real and wanted to get answer to his questions and make sure that it was also answered. So I would say over and above all, my comment yesterday, like on Monday, I wasn't here. I was here yesterday. It was really worthwhile. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's clap for him again. All right. So everybody makes reference to that panel session. It was very dramatic and very, very exciting. And of course, it wasn't an empty drama. It came with lots of lessons. So, of course, you know, the Make in Nigeria conference is one conference where we can clearly say it's a capacity building conference. And of course, it's one where you have the opportunity to exhibit your products, your services to the vast population that comes in here. I want you to know that so many people are also downstairs at the exhibition booths, but you have the time to go to the exhibition booths after the conference and see for yourself what our exhibitors have on display. This is the 15th edition of the Make in Nigeria conference. Can we clap one more time for the convener, please? Is that how you clap for somebody who has done 15 good years? That's 1 decade and a half. All right. This vision has stayed this long because there is a visioner and somebody has thought to do something differently, and it is a free event. Can we clap for him one more time? I'm very sure that you walked in through this door this morning without paying any conference fee. Am I correct? Can you say it louder? Am I correct? So if you did walk through that door without paying a conference fee, can you clap your hands one more time for the convener and the visioner of this beautiful idea? This year's theme is diffusion, and it brings an intersection between tech and agric. Of course, we saw our farmers coming yesterday. I know they are here today. And one of the panelists was like a very key man in the Farmers Association. And when he spoke yesterday, he conveyed the idea and the pains of the farmers. And of course, we saw the intersection between tech and agric when part of the panelists who had ventured into tech were able to do justice. Did he go home with an offer or not? He did go home with an offer. And we are waiting for the testimonial. Of course, by the next edition, we will get the testimony, not just from him, but from the Farmers Association. So one more time, for this beautiful conference, put your hands together. And again, put your hands together as I welcome my boss, who is going to take over from here. Of course, we need to know who the speakers are today. And we have a very interesting lineup of speakers who will be talking straight to us from experience and from passion. Please welcome MC Kingsford.
Thank you very much, my boss. You know, the moment your boss is calling you boss, the moment your destiny helper is calling you my boss. Please, a round of applause for him. It's so good to be here. My name is Kingsford Ngini, and I will be co-hosting today's event. You know, yesterday was so good that by the time I got home, I just had to relieve the memory. It was profound. It was beautiful beyond words. Before we go straight to calling up the speaker. So I want someone that will tell me what you love about Nigeria. What you love about Nigeria. We have a gentleman over there. Then I'll need a woman as well. What you love about Nigeria. Please, can you give him the mic? Thank you. Look at the person you give the mic. Thank you very much.
Firstly, in spite of our challenges, the world is still focusing on Nigeria. In the downstream sector of the petroleum economy, the uprising of Dangote getting involved from refining down to sales
you can jolly well tell, who can jolly well rejoice. If not, fuel price would have gotten up to 2,000 naira a liter. The fact that there is a challenge, a kind of, let's say, well, a competition between him and the other players, and for the fact that he's a man with a great deal of financial and political muscle. Some people is working in Nigeria. And the fact that you and I can easily make calls, even from our toilet, make international calls. Yeah, let's be real. You know something is working in Nigeria. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for him. I told you a whole lot is working in Nigeria. And thank you so much, sir, for shedding light to that. I need another person, a woman preferably. Okay, I think I have a gentleman as well. Please, can we give him the mic? Please make it brief.
I plan to. Thank you very much. Well, one of the most amazing things I love about Nigeria is the freedom we have in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, anybody can do whatever they want and prosper. Nigeria is a free and blessed nation. As long as you can think about the idea, whether you register your company or not, you can do it. That's one thing I love about Nigeria.
True. Thank you very much. Whether you register your company or not, you know some of the things you can't do it abroad, though. This one that you just stay in your house, you'll be peddling machine and you'll be collecting clothes, making clothes for people. Some of those things, if you try it outside of this country, if they catch you, that's tax evasion, right? So, but in Nigeria, I can do a whole lot of those things. And we are very strong people. One of the beautiful things I love about Nigeria is that we are strong people. There is no place you go on planet Earth that you're not going to see a Nigerian. Once human beings are there, Nigerians are there. We are always there making things happen. Please, if you are proud to be a Nigerian, a round of applause for yourself. It's not easy now. We have proud Nigerians here. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are honored and we are privileged to have our first speaker here. Please, a round of applause for our first speaker. I've not even told you the person, but a round of applause for her. So you make in Nigeria day 3. We have an incredible, an Amazon woman that will be speaking to us here today. She holds a BSc, MSc, and a PhD in food science and technology, and a PGD in business administration. She is a seasoned researcher, 2-time head of department in the Faculty of Agriculture. She has published extensively on food processing, shelf life, functional properties of local crops, and value addition techniques. As the director of RSU's Entrepreneurship Development Center, she leads initiatives that translate university research into marketable food products, mentors students, startups, and partners with industry to build export pathways. She is a frequent keynote speaker on food security, processing, and youth entrepreneurship, and recently delivered the university's 112th inaugural lecture on food security in Nigeria, processing and value-added solutions. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, let's make welcome for Make in Nigeria Diffusion, our first speaker for today, Professor Joy Eke Ejiofor. Please, a round of applause for her as she comes to the stage.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be here. I'm very privileged to speak to this audience. When I was asked to make this presentation, the first thing that came to mind was why and how. But the answer was just by me, and that is to the fact that I'm a Nigerian. That's the reason why I need to make this presentation. I want to particularly thank the organizers of Make in Nigeria project for putting this together. My first worry was with the name, Make in Nigeria. I had to unravel it. I had to think about it. I had to look at it again. I said, Make in Nigeria, Make in Nigeria. And then it made sense to the fact that it is indeed Make in Nigeria. And so I want to appreciate the convener and all those who have put this together. We're proud Nigerians. Let us remain proud of Nigeria. When I hear people put themselves together to travel, yes, for good, greener pasture, but who will fix Nigeria? Still remains a question. If we all leave, Nigeria will be empty. And sooner than we think, there will be no place like Nigeria. I like to make reference to the university where I come from. Some time ago, there was a disagreement between the academic staff union and some of us went on strike. A good number stayed back for personal reasons and possibly to keep that platform afloat. After a long while, a new visitor to the university came on board and tried to put everybody back. And those who went on strike said it was for a just cause. Of course, there should be justification for going on strike. Those who kept the platform said, we kept the platform for you to come. Because if we all went on strike, the university will have collapsed. It is important that we define our being in Nigeria. And one of that definition is the fact that you are born here without mistakes, and you should help to build this platform. One of the professors also had said, it is only a foolish parasite that kills its host. It is important that all of us as parasites to Nigeria keep Nigeria as our host. It is on this note that I will speak on the topic, transforming the Niger Delta through food processing and value chain development. Agriculture is about the most important aspects of the Nigerian economy and the Niger Delta in particular. You may wonder, why are they particular about the Niger Delta? We're in Niger Delta. We're in the Niger Delta. Who is controlling the slides? Next. The Niger Delta is peculiarly and strategically positioned in Nigeria. If you look at the map there, you see where we are at the base, where the Niger Delta is sitting, Odeshi. They don't take position for ground, carrying all the others. That makes the uniqueness of the Niger Delta. I'm proud to be one. I don't know about you. I have given stories about the position of the Niger Delta. But most importantly, about 70% of the population live below poverty line. That also brings us to limelight. That despite the fact that we're at the base, carrying the responsibility of this country, 70% or more of the population live below poverty line. That should spur our minds. That should make us work better. That should make us think better. That should make us harness the opportunities around the Niger Delta. Next. If you agree with me that the major challenges in the Niger Delta include poverty, is staring on the faces of most Niger Deltans. You will also agree that there is environmental degradation arising from pollution, gas flaring, and such activities. You will not also dispute the fact that there is a lot of conflict. This community against this. The next is fighting and getting ready for war. And all of that has effects on the economy of the Niger Delta. You will also agree with me that as much as we carry Nigeria, there is gross lack of infrastructure. No roads, no water, no lights. There's nothing to talk about us. Yet, the oil wells are in the Niger Delta. They are drilled morning and night. Any day the boys wake up and say, no work today, the companies will restructure their head and begin to think in the direction of tampering them. Cool down. We go settle on her. They settle the chiefs now trickle it down rightly or wrongly, and the boys leave the road and the work continues. Next slide. Now, these challenges have been, and it has its own multiplier effect. And the next for consideration is the role of agriculture in the Niger Delta. Like I said, the wells are there, naturally given to us by God. We will also not dispute the fact that there's misuse of this oil. Unfortunately, the oil wells are drying out. Very soon, our brothers will no longer see what to collect because of misuse. But yet, there is an untapped resources embedded in agriculture. And that is to the fact that it is a resource of food for man. You will agree that there's nobody who is here that has not eaten one meal today. Am I right? It also provides food for animals. It provides raw materials for the industry. Now, this is an important aspect of the economy that is tripartite. Food for man, food for animal, raw material for industry. Agriculture also provides employment opportunities, whether we agree or not. Whether we say it is a business for women or not. Whether we say it's business for men or children or youths, it is providing employment. It eradicates poverty. Because if we have food, a lot more of us will not bother about what politicians are doing and how much they are collecting. But because there is no food on the table, everybody seems to be agitated. Potentially, it is a platform for effective wealth creation. A few days ago, I was looking at TikTok and I saw a lot of activities around agriculture. People are doing exploits with food infrastructure. It is important that people of the Niger Delta also begin to look. This time, not outside the box, but breaking the box. Let's not look outside the box because you may just see something that will distract you. Outside the box, break it. And then move on from there. However, agriculture is grossly underexploited. Yet, it is our sustainable gold. Agriculture is the white gold, untapped, unused. The question is, what do you want to do with agriculture? It's around you. You can begin small. Today, people are planting yam in bags. People are growing in buckets. When I was growing up, the mindset was that it has to be on the soil. It has to be in a set-out farm. That's the thing of the past. Get your buckets. Get the smallest of the spaces. Get your bags. And begin to do agriculture. If you have something, you won't go looking for it. But if you don't have, you will buy and buy even pepper. There are people for years who have not bought vegetables. Kudos to them. There are people who have integrated into not buying pepper, not buying yam, because they are now self-sufficient, at least to the family. And that money, which was originally designated for such, will now be translated into something else. Agriculture is for all of us. Next slide. Challenges in the Niger Delta's food processing value chain. This is story for the classroom. Fragmented markets, access to credit, input supplies, inefficient processing, lack of coordination. I'll put them in one word. If we plant, it is important that we add value so that the financial benefits of that agric material will appreciate. Not many persons can export raw materials, but you can export value-added products. If you carry cassava, you will only take it to a nearby market, but you can take starch to China. You can take chips to Japan. You can carry gari to London, but not cassava, because first, it has a lot of moisture. The weight is more. You will not even pass the borders. They will ask you to go back. Before you keep it for a few days, it will rot and go bad. Then becomes necessary for us to look at value addition. And value addition comes in different stages. Next slide. Now, more food challenges. I deliberately have put this so that we can see what we pass by every day around the markets and such places. First, that we are contending with in the Niger Delta is the issue of climate change. The climate is almost killing all of us. But God has also given scientists opportunity to unravel and look for ways of handling climate issues. We also have the worst policies in Nigeria. The worst. I'm not saying we have the worst. I will give an example. Years back, Obasanjo decided to have an interface with Bill Gates. And Bill Gates said, and I quote, if Thailand can take 4 of your cassava varieties and reform Thailand, Nigeria should be the richest country in the world. That was a challenge for Obasanjo. Kudos to him. And he began the course of transforming just one agri crop, one cassava. He tried the much he could until when he left. Yar'Adua was short-lived. Then came Jonathan. I also will make proud to say that all the bread that was consumed when Jonathan was in office had 10% cassava flour inclusion. I make proud to say it because I was in the system. And that was saving so much foreign exchange for Nigeria because Nigeria imports 100% of the wheat that is used in this country. And Nigeria has a large population. Produce bread, no matter the quantity, it go enter people belly. True or false? You know they remain. There's no household that do not consume bread. Is it where you have children? Biscuits. Even adults snack on biscuits. So you find out that that is a ready market for Nigeria. Unfortunately, the policies of Nigeria killed that process. Today, the inclusion of 10% cassava flour into bread making or confectionaries is on the floor. Bill Gates provided an opportunity for people to understudy that process. I was the beneficiary of the process. That process started and was concluded. It is documented. The challenge is policy and its administration. Those whose business it is to bring in wheat killed it. Why will I be importing wheat and you're bringing cassava to take 10% off me? And that is part of what we're suffering. Policy inconsistency. Low processing and value addition. Nobody's interested. Everybody's interested in the one that is ready-made. Go and buy and work more to get money to continue to buy. Even where people try. The technologies are there, but people are not ready to harness the technologies. Insecurity is part of what we're suffering in Nigeria and in the Niger Delta. You are going to the farm, you are accosted. Production is going to be very low. There will be more hunger in 2025. I'm sure a lot of people will say, God forbid, but that is the truth. The people who go to farm are at war.
The herdsmen are killing. Women who are major farmers are raped. So how are we going to get the food? Unfortunately, the issue of climate change again, the rain is very high. There will be a lot of rotting of crops in the soil. Post-harvest losses is one big one that all of us, including our grandmothers, are contending with because of what? The peculiar nature of agri materials. Just look at the statistics on the board. That we lose 50% of total fruit production in this country. 50% of it is lost to post-harvests. 20% of grains are lost after harvest. 30% of tubers, yam, cassava, we lose it after we have planted. 58% of pepper is also lost. 52% of tomato. This is just to mention but a few. If we lose all this, the question is, what then is left? These are the things that should spoil your mind to join in the campaign for food value addition. How do you preserve your food so that they don't go bad? If you lose 50% of your production, you have nothing left. If 58% of total pepper, 52% of total tomato, there's nothing for you to use. If you look at this photograph, you see what happens at the dump sites. You see this close by every market. The streets of Port Harcourt flooded with crops. Nigeria is very rich. Oh. Nigeria. Now my country for another world. Oh. If I come again, I go from Nigeria. I don't go anywhere. Nigeria is very rich. But the problem is that we do not know what to do with ourselves. See wastage. If we put this together, nobody go find politician. What they do? Make collecting money, the thief they go. No problem. I don't know if I'm talking to anybody. Next slide. Importance of agricultural product development. Of course, if we decide to all go back to the farm and leave the oil wells, all of us agree that I will do some element of farming. There will be a rise in the degree of self-reliance. I want to share an experience. In 2024 through to 2004 through to 2006, I was saddled with the responsibility of doing a PhD program. And then, the governor of Rivers State had a formidable strength to drive agriculture. His wife spearheaded it. I'm sure if you think back, you remember who I'm talking about. And she led a campaign to teach women value addition. In the course of this, that train set out to develop this capacity moved from local government to local government, teaching women how to be self-reliant. In the course of doing it, Redemption Ministries also got that information that this was going on. They clustered their members, men and women, rich ones, so not poor people like me, rich men and women, volunteered themselves to come and learn. Because one day, white-collar job will end. You will now have to fall back on something that is more sustainable. In the course of this training, we had to do some feedback mechanism. And we discovered that people were coming to Redemption Ministries to testify that they could now help their children. These are people who were doing nothing, whose husbands possibly were rich, and of course were providing everything that they needed. Agriculture and the activities around agriculture is one thing that brings self-reliance. It accelerates economic growth. Try it. You'll agree with me the amount of money that you save in the course of doing agricultural practice. It sustains progress. It creates employment. It improves food security, and it brings diversification. Every day we make gari. Every day we make gari. Yet, there are more than 20 different products that can come from cassava that are also consumables. I don't know if we have ever thought about it. It is only when you get into agriculture and extend to value addition that you can find out these embedded values in agricultural practice. This is only possible if the introduction of all integrated agricultural system. Today, Ghana is doing an integrated system. You get to a farm, there's a fish pond, there's a piggery section, there is a crop section. When it is time to dislodge the water in the fish pond, they pass it through to the crops, and the crops flourish. It's not a case of fertilizer. I don't know if we have integrated farms here. I think after the Make in Nigeria project, we should go back and think about having integrated farms around us because it is healthier and it is cost savings. Next slide. Food value addition. All of us practice food value addition. And the simplest is when you cook white rice today and the next day you don't feel like eating it that way and you turn it into jollof. Has it happened anywhere? It's food value addition. Changing the form from one to another is food value addition. Today, have you eaten mini chin chim? Has anybody here eaten mini chin chim? Eh? It is a value-added product. I won't give you the secrets. If you want, do consultancy. Now, this food value addition requires us to process. In the course of processing, some nutrients are lost because a lot more of them are not stable with heating. And if that happens, you need to do fortification. What makes a product unique is the ability to have it packaged. Consumers eat first the package before the content. Do you agree? So if you are into value addition or you want to go into value addition after the Make in Nigeria project, think of packaging. Your package first sells the product. And then branding. Those who are digitally inclined will tell you that brand sells the market. Brand takes the market. It is important that you also brand, and your brand should be unique to you. What makes Coke unique is the fact that they have a formidable brand. And if it is not Coke, like my husband will say, it is not Coke. The taste is in the Coke. The spirit behind Coke is Coke. That is what makes Coke unique. So as you get into value addition, put up a unique brand and you'll be glad you did. Next slide. Efforts to improve the value chain. As you are getting into it, make sure that you have a market, get a target, so that as you finish, they pick up. You must also strengthen farmers' link, depending on what your raw material is. If you are producing, be sure that you have where you get the raw material so that you don't run short of production. That's what takes a lot of people out of business. They have it immediately. They have not thought of how to get it when that crop is not in season. It only takes you to think, break the box, and get your raw material so that you can have it all year round. Improve the services around you. If it's an agricultural product, get an extension service that will get clusters around you. And then build a capacity. That's the most important thing. You need to build a capacity around the product that you are into. Next slide. Key strategies. People have underrated women. Now we be the strength to anyhow na like doing. Women are a stronghold if agriculture must go to the next level. I'm passionate about that. Go to any farm. Count the number of men vis-a-vis women. Women are more. You'll be wondering, where is their weaker sex? Yes, their energy to sustain is unequaled. And the moment a woman moves, she moves with her children. True of us. It is important that we mentor youths and women. Make in Nigeria, it is important that you also bring this to limelight, that women and children must increase their capacity. Part of the reason why agriculture doesn't seem to be making so much progress is the fact that we have not harnessed seeds that are right. It is not any and any seed that you plant. You will not break even. Why am I saying so? Over time, experience has shown that the right seeds gives you higher yield. if you go to the right place to get the right seed and plant, your yield is 3 times what it is. Science and technology has also improved on seedlings. IITA is strategically positioned in Rivers State. We are advantaged in the Niger Delta to have a location of IITA in One, where they have the mandate to grow good seedlings. If you remember, there were incidences in the media that showed that goats that ate cassava peel died. I don't know if anybody heard that. There was a time in the media when people peel cassava and keep it and goats eat, they die. Because of what? High cyanide content. Technology has evolved. Crop scientists have gone to the table. Cloning has taken place. A lot more improved varieties have come with reduced cyanide. And so when you plant those, you find yield and then you find safety. So it is important that we look for the appropriate places to get seedlings. You don't just buy because, oh, somebody planted and got it from here, let me go plant. No, that's not the concept. There are people whose mandate it is to give us improved variety of seedlings. So seed systems is one way that will drive agriculture in the Niger Delta. Access to market and credit, value chain enhancement, just like we're discussing here. When we all plant and we don't add value, our post-harvest losses will still be high. Next slide. Next slide. Community and women empowerment. I don't know how we want to say that again. No, government needs to come to our aid. Make in Nigeria project, I'm sure there'll be a communique after this to showcase this cry. Yesterday, I was listening to news and there was that agitation to increase the number of women in legislation. It is important so that they can also bring out the capacities that lie with women. And so, if a woman knows anything in a community, the community knows it. Due respect to our husbands and brothers, if a man knows it, he doesn't even discuss it with a wife. But if a wife knows it, everybody, child, everybody in the community knows it. So it's important that we build this capacity. Next slide. Next slide. Impact of food processing and value addition. We have said this: economic growth, poverty reduction, improved food security, sustainable practice. Next slide. Commodity value chain. I want to dwell on cassava. Value chain. There are several of them. I have listed plenty: yam, cocoyam, plantain, banana, palm oil, rubber. All of them are unique to the Niger Delta. All of these crops. But look at it again. Years back, I saw my mother pound cocoyam to thicken soup. I don't know if anybody has ever tried that. To cook a particular type of food, my mom would need to sit down and pound. Today, technology has evolved. You now have cocoyam powder packaged, right? You can use it anytime. It remains for a lifetime because the shelf life is extended. Why are we saying cassava alone can change the course of Nigeria? As a student, a PhD student, I understudied 43 cassava variety in IITA. Yet, you find people say, oh, there are not more than 2 improved varieties. I alone, as a student, understudied 43 cassava varieties and characterized them for industrial use. If you get starch from cassava, there is no equal for today. I stand to be corrected. There is no other starch from any of the tubers that has the same viscosity, purity, and strength compared to cassava starch. Now, if you go to the West, you find Matna. There's a company called Matna Starch. The woman is looking for who will supply her starch because the demand is so much that she's not meeting up. She goes into the villages trying to teach them how to get quality starch to meet her production criteria. She's doing ethanol from cassava. She's doing adhesives from cassava. The pharmaceutical industries are waiting to pick up starch for pharmaceutical use. And yet, there are people who are underrating the potentials in cassava. Bill Gates says, if Thailand can reform, Nigeria should be the richest in the world. Because as of today, that record is not broken. We are the largest producers of cassava in the world. Nobody has beat that record. And we have not tapped into the values that is in cassava. The Niger Delta needs to think outside the box. Break the box. There is no community in the Niger Delta that is not unique with a crop. Why have we not harnessed it? Cocoyam is wasting in Ahoda. Rubber and the shores of the Niger Delta. What are we doing to harness these opportunities? A few days ago, I was told that people who assembled in Ikotekbene were made to plant cocoa. Can cocoa not grow here? And cocoa is the market. Yes, the Nigerians that left Nigeria for the UK to do a demonstration used cocoa and cassava flour to produce chocolates as a composite blend. That technology is not in London. The technology is with us. Like I said, there is policy inconsistency and there is no support from government. But it is important that we all put ourselves together in cooperatives, form clusters, and share knowledge, share what we can do, and see how to move on to the next level. What are we doing with these crops? The one that is common to your community, what are you doing with it? It is important that we answer these questions privately and collectively. What are you doing with the crop around you? That's wealth lying beside you. Transform it. Remove the water. Change the form. Remember I had said, if you eat white rice today and you turn it to jollof, the remnant, you have done value addition. Change the course of the crops around you. Next slide. Before you is President Goodluck Jonathan holding cassava bread. Like I said, I was privy to the fact that for the time he was in office, everybody in Aso Villa ate bread that had 10% cassava inclusion. That is an evidence to show that it is doable. I will also share with you that working for Bill and Melinda Gates, I was privileged to supervise SMEs that were producing HQCF. HQCF is high quality cassava flour. When the inconsistency in the policies began to have a hold on the production, one of those I supervised decided to produce and buy her products. It will interest you to ask how and how was she doing it. She opened up a bakery because she already had the HQCF plants fixed and supported by the Bank of Industry. When the market was not selling, people were not coming to buy the HQCF. She decided to buy it by herself. And what was she doing? Get her HQCF, send it to the bakery, add the 10% into the flour, that's the wheat flour, produce bread and sell. All of us bought her bread without knowing that we ate 10% cassava. She was buying her products. Today, she's a big, big farmer. People are looking for her to come and buy off cassava and produce HQCF. I also want to share. You don't need consultancy for this one. Don't pay me. Every product that does not require volume increase can be produced with 100% cassava. That's why I asked you, have you eaten mini chin chin before? Na cassava you chop. Yes, next slide. These are all products that can be incorporated. But the beauty of this slide is the statistics, aggregate demand. At the moment, what we have in terms of production for HQCF is 60,000 tons because facilities are not there. The technology is not widespread. This is the production level. However, we have the potential to produce 504.500 tons as demand for HQCF. People are beginning to make plenty money from cassava. Oh. Let us key in so that we're not left out. If you buy a bag of cassava flour and you buy a bag of wheat and use them side by side, your profit is more with your HQCF than it is with wheat, because wheat is expensive. It is not produced here. The demand is high. Everybody is scrambling to get part of it. But we can be wise to do some blending or supplementation and make a lot of our money. Next slide. These are also products that can be made from HQCF. What you see there is a Winosa product. She was one of those we supervised under the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She's a big-time processor because she's doing so much with cassava. You can see all of her packages. She is even sending abroad. I also want to share that when RSSDA was up, there were students who were on scholarship from River State, from NDDC, I guess. And at some point, they began to send messages home. We want Nigerian food. RSSDA was saddled with responsibility of packaging Gary in 5 grams. 5 kg bags and sending out. It was Winosa Food that had the responsibility of doing it. Her Gary was unique. And you'll be asking, what was she doing that others were not doing? After roasting, using all the HACCP conditions to be sure that hydrogen cyanide is low, Gary is properly dry, she'll go and sieve it. When you see it, you want to eat it from now till next tomorrow. Packaging, branding, it was unique to her. And as it left this country, everybody was clamoring to get those products. You can package it better than Winosa. Next slide. Again, part of our challenge has been electricity. Oh, I can't do this. There's no light. Too many complaints. But thanks to technology, we now have solars, right? Before you is a drying mechanism introduced by NISPRI. NISPRI is the Nigerian Stored Product Research Institute. They have that. It is totally solar. As you open it, there are layers where you can put any drying products. Unfortunately, it is not common everywhere. But if you go to their office, you will find a unit. If you also find your way to River State University, you will also see one. What people are doing now is bring your sample, pay for drying, spread it, dry. It is solar, not be electric, where you go say, oh, they cost. When you finish drying, you go do whatever value additions that you want to do. What we are saying in essence is that the issue of electricity not allowing us to do X, Y, Z is now low because there is improved technology, which is solar. If you also see a commissioning of one of the units, you will find out that a lot more persons are buying into it. You can have quite a lot dried at the same time. I was in Ilorin about April, and the minister came to the NISPRI office, and one of his questions, why have you not been able to give us onion chips? Everybody was like, onion chips? He said, yes, because he is from the north, and onion has a season. A time comes when it becomes very scarce and expensive, and people now buy one for about 500 naira. He gave it to them as a challenge. Let us have onion all year round. And one thing that crossed my mind was using the solar dryer, the parabolic solar dryer, to chip it. If you dry it, it just takes you to reconstitute it and you have it. Again, it can become markets for tomorrow, export markets. Because the more you remove water, the lighter the product becomes. And you can now take much more at a time for export. That is a project for tomorrow. But unfortunately, as you are saying tomorrow, people are already doing it. So it's of no use saying tomorrow. Do it now. On TikTok, I saw the chips packaged. People have gone ahead when others are saying, let us do it tomorrow. So you can find out that all fruits can be dried using this system. Please, if you pass by UST, just come in. You will see it there. If you pass by NISPRI on Ikwere Road, you can also go and take a look at it. You can talk it over with the people managing it. Come bring in your products, dry them, and you can go on and do more value-added products from it. Next slide. This is still part of it. That is another cold chain. Drying and storage facilities for commodities. This is a cold chain. I also saw Nispri bring it to bear. And that is a house that is just built with some cooling system in it. In there, you will find all sorts of fruits as fresh as when they just harvested them. What we are suffering is that if you keep in your kitchen, it will begin to decay because of the high moisture. These technologies are now with us. There is a cold chain that does not require electricity. That is the message we want to bring. That it is important that we begin to look at better ways of storing our products. This is also a cold storage for yam. What I knew as a child was a yam ban. Am I right? They tie it. I don't know if any of us know the reason for the yam ban. Do you know why our forefathers and mothers used the yam ban? Do you know the reason? To allow for inflow of air. Because any other condition will modify the activities of respiration. And the moment they respire, you see them grow plumule. As they begin to grow, what are they doing? Using their own energy to grow and reducing the value for that yam. But this technology is bringing a good news to us as farmers and as processors, that you can store your yam in a cool environment that does not necessarily require electricity, but can be powered by solar. Next slide. Value addition and fortification. Like I said, if you process, the act of processing makes nutrients available, but it reduces some, meaning that you need to add something. Depending on the amount of information you have, that will give you an idea of what to add to replace the losses. That is not even the interest. The interest is that there is another development. Look at that drying of fish. Nispri also had produced a modified fish skin. This one is uniquely placed. You can buy it. I know that a lot more persons are into fish farming. But harvesting and storing in the events you don't have a market becomes a problem. But you can dry and add value to it. And you know that the cost of dry fish is high. For those who go to the market, dry fish is no longer child's play. I'm also looking for a way to begin to dry fish because there is market for fish. Nigeria is a large market. The Niger Delta is populated. And again, it is our business in the Niger Delta to harness fish and the opportunities around fish. So it is important that we harness all of these technologies that are coming. See the woman weighing, after which what happens? If there is no light, that big fish goes bad. But if you have a drying technology around you, you can conserve that fish for as long as it becomes very necessary. These are all products arising from improvements in technology. Let us move away from the mundane things. Let us embrace technology. People should no longer look for jobs. We should be job creators, drawing strength from agriculture. Next slide. Cold chain, like I said, you can now see, not electric at all. There are people whose business is now cold chain. Just call them. They come and take your products and put for you in the cold room. When you need it, they deliver to you. A lot more of it is happening in Abuja. A lot more of these cold chain activities is happening because it is solar driven. It is cheaper than electricity. Somebody will tell you, I bought so much diesel. I bought so much fuel. There was no light. NEPA did not come on. That's a story for the past. Technology has brought us closer to actual practice. So the cold chain technology is also driving and reducing the issues or incidences of post-harvest. Next slide. Finally, I want to believe that the Make in Nigeria project is timely and has brought all of us together to think better, to harness our ideas, and to see how to make the Niger Delta revolve from where it is to where it should be. Together, all of us can make it work. We can provide value-added foods to the Niger Delta, so much that the food in Niger Delta should feed Niger Deltans. Nigeria should be able to feed Nigerians. We have food. The only problem is that we do not have what it takes to reduce the incidences of post-harvest. I want us all to think agriculture. And finally, think food value addition. Thank you.
Can you keep clapping till she gets to her seat? That was so much knowledge. So much knowledge in just 40 minutes. So much knowledge. While I was listening to her, I discovered that beyond being one in the agricultural space, she added so much spice on the angle of entrepreneurship when she talked about value addition. And I'm sure you've learned a lot, right? And I'm sure you've learned who you need to meet. Anyway, because of the time, I won't be giving you the opportunity to ask questions now. And I would not also give you the opportunity to say your take home right now. But I just want you to know that there are few things you need to imbibe from this talk. One of it was go get your buckets. You know, one thing about Prof is that she simplified her talk. It was simplified. No cumbersome language. We're not breaking our heads to understand the message. It was simplified. So go get your buckets, get your bags, get the smallest space at your backyard and get started. Tell somebody by your side, get started. Tell somebody agriculture is every man's business. Good. And the next thing she said that stood out is policy making. We have poor policy making. She has told us a lot how she worked with several sectors and several ranges of political offices, and she discovered that Nigeria is vastly blessed, but we have poor policies. So when next you see your policymakers are the legislators, the House of Assembly members, the members of the House of Reps. They are the people you should beckon on. Speak to them, have town hall meetings with them so that they can drive positive and societal impactful policies that affect the common man as much as possible. And of course, I drew something finally from her that we must begin to encourage private sector collaboration. You and the person seated next to you. Network with somebody before this conference is over. You may have the money, but you may not have the technical know-how. Get somebody's number, come together, call a few persons together. We can raise the money to begin to do what we saw on the screen. Do you believe we can? While this was going on, quite a number of persons walked in, and I would introduce one of them in due course, but I would like you to please, with a standing and a clapping ovation, welcome the convener of the Make in Nigeria project, Pastor Uche Onoche. Please, let's clap for him. So much wisdom has been spilled here, and he is the reason why we have that. Thank you so much, sir, for conceiving this vision and for birthing it. Please, you may be seated. While you are seated where you are, I'm sure you are conceiving visions. Don't end at conception. Please bet it. Bet it so we can enjoy the value from your vision. Like I told you, we are far behind our time, and we're quickly going to take the second speaker. And the second speaker is someone you would want to listen to. is someone that when I saw the program as well, I told myself I have to be here to listen to this speaker. He is Honorable Dr. Enemi Alabo George, a visionary leader and a 3-term legislator and passionate advocate for youth empowerment and community development. With a strong academic background, including a PhD in governance and strategic development, he combines policy expertise with practical leadership. A former banker with Zenith Bank and Fidelity Bank PLC, where he rose to become the head of public sector group, Dr. George transitioned into politics in 2015 and has since served in the Rivers State House of Assembly under the People's Democratic Party. He has chaired key committees in commerce, industry, appropriations, information and training, and public complaints and petitions, championing policies that foster economic growth, education, and social equity. Beyond politics, he founded Rivers Professionals, RIFPRO, an NGO dedicated to empowering youth and promoting social inclusion, and co-founded the Open Professionals Exchange Network, a hub for collaboration and knowledge sharing among professionals. A mentor, writer, poet, and public speaker, Dr. George Enemi continues to inspire through advocacy, capacity building, and entrepreneurship-related initiatives. Proudly known as a farmer, he remains deeply committed to strengthening communities and creating opportunities for the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you your political farmer, Honorable Dr. Enemi Alabo George. Please make welcome our second speaker with a clapping ovation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Pastor, let me very specially thank you. Thank you and appreciate you for putting this together. I know what it takes to organize events like this. It's one thing to have a vision. It's entirely another thing to bring the vision to fruition. I know what it takes. I know the time, the resources, and talent it takes to put something like this together. So that's why when I heard of it, I said, no, if I have to cross 7 seas, I will cross 7 seas and be here today. So I want to thank you for doing that. I organized the Port Harcourt Tech Expo. So I can tell you that I understand what it takes to put.
We just let the ideas die inside of us. And so whenever I see people who are able to conceive the idea and then take the next step to bring it to bear, I always appreciate it. So thank you very much. And then secondly, madam, I have to also thank you for this very practical lecture that you gave. I thought I was coming to teach. I didn't realize I was coming to learn. So thank you. I like practical teachings. A lot of times we go to events and we hear statistics, we hear abstracts, 30% of this, 40% of that. At the end of the day, we're back to square one. There's no post-event activity. But what you've done is very practical, and I want to appreciate you. I hope and pray to God that I'll be able to meet you after now, so we can maybe collaborate on a couple of things. I suffer this thing every time I have to speak at events. I'll spend time, prepare fantastic slides with infographics and all of that. And then the minute I get on stage, I veer off path. And I'm talking about something else. So today I pray to God that God help me. I don't want to fall into that same trap today. Unfortunately, I came in, and Madam was speaking. So I fallen into that trap again. Because Francis Bacon says that conference maketh a man.
Reading, a ready man. Writing, an exact man. The purpose of conferencing is to learn. It was Alvin Toffler who said that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. To learn, of course, is to embrace new knowledge. To relearn, assuming you have forgotten some, to learn again. To unlearn is to drop bad knowledge. There's good knowledge and bad knowledge. And embrace better ones. Drop bad knowledge, embrace good knowledge. So when I get into a room to speak on issues, speak to issues, I like to speak to the moods. I don't like to be scripted, because being scripted, in being scripted, we lose a lot. There's a lot to say, but because you want to go contextual, you want to be scripted, you just leave it and just follow. That is another level of imprisonment. So today, forgive me if at some point, I'll try to stay on script, but if I go extempo at some point, forgive me. We're only trying to solve problems. Agriculture has been a mainstay to our country. But the problem is that a lot of times, we just keep talking and talking and talking and do less of the doing. There's wealth in our nation. There's wealth in our country. There's wealth in agriculture. I've been asked to speak on navigating the challenges in agribusiness for sustainable growth in Nigeria. I have just 40 minutes to speak, so I don't want to spend time talking about, development, what is growth, what is sustainable growth, indices to measure this, composite indices, composite indicators, and single indicators. No, I don't think that's what we're here for today. Because I look at you in this room, a lot of you agro-entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, those who want to be entrepreneurs, or maybe those who are enthusiasts in agriculture. And I love what the Make in Nigeria conference has done this year, that fusion, creating that nexus between agriculture and technology. There's nothing we can do about it. Last year, we had a 1-hour session at the Port Harcourt Tech. No, this year, in June, we had one full session for agriculture at the Tech Expo. So that shows you that the emergence of technology has come to expand the horizon, has come to expand the agricultural ecosystem. So, what are the challenges of agriculture in Nigeria? I don't need to tell you, all of us know. Let's not deceive ourselves. But I don't want to dwell on what government has done and what government has not been able to do. Because I'm one person who believes that challenges should present opportunities. And smart people should be able to see gaps in challenges that will create opportunities for them. We have an electricity problem in Nigeria. We have a fuel problem in Nigeria. Our refineries have issues. But Dangote saw an opportunity in that challenge, and he built a refinery and is enjoying monopoly today. So it's one thing to have a challenge, it's another thing to complain about the challenges, but it's a very unique thing to identify opportunities that lie within challenges. So rather than dwell on the macro aspects of the challenges that we face and what as a nation and as a society we should do, I'm tempted to limit myself to what as a people we can do to combat these challenges. Now, when I was thinking of what to say to you today, I thought of two sets of triads. The first set of triads will probably speak to national issues and societal issues. And then the second triad will speak to us at the individual level and at the individual business level or at the level of the entrepreneur. Knowledge is currency. Knowledge is capital. But a lot of times, we ignore knowledge. We want to do business. We want to make money. We're in a hurry. I hear that agriculture is the in thing these days. So I hear that the return on investment is so high that agriculture is the way to go. And so I jump into agriculture. Or I made some good money, I don't know where to invest it. I hear that fish farming is doing so well, I jump into fish farming. The first thing to do is to study, is to embrace knowledge. Stephen Covey wrote a book, 7 Habits of Very Effective People. I can't remember the name very well. I read it many years ago. And then Highly Effective People. Thank you. In one of his recommendations, he said something like, sharpen the sword or sharpen the axe. He says that if you have 1 hour to cut a tree, dedicate the more of your time sharpening the axe than spending all the time cutting down the tree with an axe that is numb. That way, you're working hard, you're not working smart, and you don't even get good results. Before you go into any venture, spend time, immerse yourself in knowledge, in learning. That brings me to my first triad I want to talk about today. I want to talk about 3 democracies. You see what I said? I've forgotten that I have slides. Please give me the next slide, yeah? I've forgotten. 3 democracies. Data democracy, knowledge democracy, and because we're talking about agriculture today, food democracy and food sovereignty. What is data democracy? Data is the foundation of knowledge. If we make data available, then we make knowledge easy. Data enables knowledge. And so when we are able to democratize data, when data is available to everybody, when I want to go into agriculture and I have ready data that is easily available to me, it makes learning easy for me. It makes going into business easy for me. It makes doing business easy for me. Data democracy. Knowledge democracy. How are we able to make knowledge available to everybody at very minimal cost or efforts? If we say, like Francis Bacon says, that knowledge is power, then making power available to people is making knowledge available to people. How have we been able to democratize knowledge? If we democratize data, and in doing so, democratize knowledge, then we can democratize food. Food production requires a lot of knowledge. When Madam was on stage, she was demonstrating practical knowledge. We were learning. So, assuming you intend to go into business, you already have the foundation, the substructure upon which you can build. If we're able to democratize knowledge, then food diplomacy, food democracy can be achieved. And then food sovereignty, those are 2 different things. Food democracy is making food available to everyone at minimal cost or no cost at all. Food sovereignty is the ability to produce what you should produce without external influences and minimal labor. And so we have the challenges of the land tenure system. We have the challenges of land preparation. We have the challenges of post-harvest losses like she spoke about. What you see is that sometimes some people are able to produce, but they do so with so much difficulty. We have issues of infrastructure, travel time, transportation, access to markets. How do you preserve your food? If you're able to face the land before 1978, we had a radical hold system on lands where everybody just owned land. Your land is your land. From 1978, when the Land Use Act came, we didn't have a freehold system anymore. We now had a leasehold system, which says that every land belongs to the government, to the people of Nigeria, but to be held in trust by the governor of a state. That's Section 1 of the Land Use Act. And then the Act says that the land is not yours anymore. You hold it in lease. It's a leasehold for about 99 years. So that brings a couple of challenges. Even though it's good, that also democratized land, as I would like to say. That also removed a lot of the encumbrances that land had prior to the Land Use Act. But there are also a lot of challenges. Now, land preparation has been a big problem to us as a country, as a people. That beautiful woman in Emoha says she wants to farm cassava. But in that family land that she has, there are many palm trees that has eaten up almost 40% of the land. She does not have the capacity to prepare the land. She can't fell the trees. She doesn't have tractors. She doesn't have ridgers. So what she does, when it's sunny, she hides under the trees. And when the weather is good, she goes out and plants around the trees in a way that the trees, her plants can receive sun. But she can't plant directly under the trees because without sun, the plants can't do well. If we had an effective land management and land preparation system where government can deploy heavy equipment, then she wouldn't have to bother about that. If the government says that, oh, we're going to remove every encumbrance for you to be able to farm cassava easily, then she wouldn't have to bother about that. I'm still talking about the first triad. I've spoken about data democracy, spoken about knowledge democracy, spoken about food democracy and food sovereignty, summarily. It takes me to the second triad. Just be moving, don't mind me. The second triad is at the personal level or business level. A lot of you want to jump into business. You forget, for those of you who studied economics, the production cycle is completed when consumption happens. Without consumption, production is not completed because you produce with a view in mind of consumption. So it happens to you in business. You're a farmer. You're so lost in producing eggs that you forget that having produced, you have to market, you have to sell. And that's why a lot of businesses, especially in the agro ecosystem, die easily. Before you produce, you must have consumption in mind. Who will buy from me? If a customer has ever come to your farm to buy from you, and then you told him, oh, we're sold out, we're selling eggs, we're fully booked for the next 3 weeks, oh, we can't do anything about it, and then he goes. You are a problem unto yourself. If you've ever done business, then you know how difficult it is to win one customer. But the mistake we make, we are pursuing new customers. We don't know how to maintain the customers that we have already. Data. Who buys from you? Do you have a document that has a list and numbers and addresses of all the people that have patronized you for the past 5 years? So the lady comes to buy eggs, you say, no, we don't have eggs, sir. Come back next month. And then you let him go. There's what we call egg gluts. That's when sales of eggs drop, when children are on holidays. They're the highest consumers of eggs. When egg glut happens, you now understand the value of one customer. And so you now have bad eggs that eventually bury. You must value customers. You must have consumption in mind before you begin production. So that brings me to the second triad. 3 things. Knowledge again. The first set of knowledge I spoke about was at the general level, at the macro level. This one is at the personal, individual level. Knowledge. Second one, systems. Third one, structure. A lot of businesses fail because maybe there's a knowledge. Yes, I have a business I'm running, but there's no system. If your business needs you to be present every day to run it, then there's a problem. Systems. Systems help business run on autopilot. Systems help you to scale. Sir, ma, if you have opened 5 branches, will you be omnipotent? Can you be in all the branches at the same time? If you're a farmer and you have 5 different farms, will you be able to be at all the farms at the same time? Fatigue will happen. We just have 24 hours in a day. But systems can help you run your structure. Systems will help you scale, help you expand, help you sell. It brings me to this. I've always distinguished between discipline and systems. Discipline is what it is, discipline. But discipline is not sustainable without systems. So, I'm adding weight, I want to work out. Every day from today, I'll keep fit. I'll spend 1 hour, 30 minutes in the gym. Discipline. So I try to wake up. But every time discipline calls on you, your human nature reminds you that you're just a vessel, this is just a body. Sometimes your mind and body will fail you. What sustains you is discipline. Discipline is I want to work out every day for 1 hour, 30 minutes. System is setting an alarm clock that reminds me to work out every day. Discipline is I must go to the gym or I must work out in my house. System is having a gym instructor that comes and harasses you until you climb that gym. Discipline is I must work out. System is have a workout partner that harasses you until you work out. Discipline, systems. And then structures. What structure runs your business? What structure manages your business? You can't be the sole administrator of your business. You are the alpha, you are the omega, and every other thing in between. There has to be a structure. It doesn't mean that you must employ 50 people. It doesn't mean that you need a crowd. Even if it's just you and one other person, there has to be a structure. There has to be responsibilities. Even in your home, who washes the plates? Who sweeps the floor? My first daughter, you're responsible for washing plates in the kitchen. Second daughter or son, your work is to sweep the kitchen. Third one, make sure you're the last person to check on the back door before we go to bed every day. And so when you wake up tomorrow and the back door is not locked, you're not even shouting, you know who to ask. And then there are consequences already prepared. My father, when I was young, I used to think he was a very wicked man. He was a military man, an officer with the Nigerian Air Force. He loved education so much. He loved discipline. So, I'll go out after school. He has a rule. You come, have your siesta, you must read, you must do your homework, do this. But your mates are playing football outside. Every time I'm going back home, I feel so bad, so free, enjoying themselves. So sometimes I'll sneak out to the back door. I can't play football. The man will come. I'm not at home. He looks for you. He can't find you. No problems. When I come back, I'll now be hardworking. I'll fetch water. I'll sweep the whole place. I'll mop the whole place. He'll be praising you. Wow, great job, great job, great job, wonderful job. Great young man, man of spirit, voice of power, be praising you. When you finish, you say, oh, you did a fantastic job today. I'm proud of you. Did you have lunch? Say, yes, no wonder you have so much energy. Okay, lie down. You know the rules now. The rule is 12 strokes whenever you disobey. So he's just in with you. The man is flogging you. When he's done, he say, go and make coffee for him. You go. Then you now sit down. Do you know why I flogged you? Because we have a rule in this house. You know that he doesn't hate you. There's just a system. So even before you get home, you are preparing yourself that there's 12 strokes waiting for you. Discipline, systems, structure. There are many challenges in our agribusiness ecosystem. But will you let the challenges limit you? Or will you create opportunities out of the challenges? I like very practical stuff. When Madam was speaking, she was talking about value addition. She was talking about integrated farming. When you are confronted with challenges in business, it should challenge you to create solutions. The biggest brands in the world were created out of needs, out of challenges. There's this thing I began to do on one of my farms. So we have a pig farm. We have about 60,000 capacity poultry. We have so we have a plantain plantation inside the farm. Now there's a lot of wastes. You develop waste every day. There are feed bags, hundreds of bags of feed bags every day. The stores are full. We have our waste management system, we have manure removers, but even at that, it's overwhelming. And then our plantain farm was not doing so well. Because you know this on-season and off-season kind of thing, dry season, the leaves are dying and everything. And somebody I would say, look, whether we just do away with all these things. But one day, I was teaching a class somewhere, talking about value addition, how to make good use of waste. Meanwhile, I have my own problems that I'm facing. That was when it dawned on me that something can be done about this problem of yours. I went back to the farm. I changed the model of our fish tanks. We used to have earthen ponds, we still have them, and concrete ponds. So we now deployed plastic tanks inside the plantation. So the plantain is providing shade for the tanks. When we waste water from the fish tanks, we're not wasting ordinary water, we're wasting fertilizer into the plantain. We started planting yams. We use our feed bag. We use the waste from the poultry to fill the bags with manure. And then we plant yams, we do back planting. We have over 6,000 seedlings of yam as I speak to you. You have reduced your waste. You've created wealth. You've added value. Remember that almost all of you that have fish farms, you struggle with the issue of wasting water. Soon, your neighbors will say, oh, the water is too much, the water is smelling. When you waste from fish tanks and it's supplying manure to plants, it doesn't even, the soil absorbs all of that smell and all of that, so it doesn't even smell. The water is absorbed, everything is absorbed. So in challenges, you can always see opportunities and solutions. Please, next slide, if that will still work. What do we have here? Okay, so I think I've already spoken to this. I've spoken to the production cycle, how you must focus on consumption before you begin production. Because when you produce, it must be consumed. If you produce and it's not consumed, then there's a problem. But in doing all of this, you must give, today, I'm placing so much emphasis on knowledge. You must, today, knowledge has been so democratized that on YouTube, you can learn almost anything. Some, you can learn all the stages, or you can even learn the basic stuff you need to know before you go into production. Agriculture contributes to about 24%, I think it should be more now, of our GDP, our gross domestic product. For those of you who are not familiar with that, if you add everything as a people we produce, that's our gross domestic product, GDP. Our gross national income is what those of us that are home produce and those who are abroad produce. If you say GDP per capita, when everything we produce and divide by our population, that's what we call GDP per capita. So agriculture contributes a lot. Today, technology has simplified agriculture. It has made it so easy that people can easily venture into agriculture now. Knowledge is so available. A nation that is not intentional is a nation that is confused. There must be that collective intention. If we want to be a farming nation, then we must begin to groom farmers from day one. When we were growing up, we had school farms at the back of almost every school. You were taught to plant cassava. They will share the portions. They say, you cultivate this side, you do vegetables. We must go back to that as a nation. Look at Israel. Israel is one of the most protected countries in the world. They train their children from scratch, military skills. Singapore, they take leadership as a national policy. They begin to identify leaders from the scratch. Leadership can never be accidental. If we want to be a nation that is focused on agriculture, then we must be intentional about raising farmers. My dad, as a military man, always had farms at the back of our houses. So he loved greens. I don't know if those things are still there. Green leaf. He would say, oh, parboil it, cook it half done, and bring. I said, what kind of man is this? Like, it's half done. We always have poultry farms behind our houses. We have broilers, we have layers. Now, not for commercial, it was just for subsistence. But he did something. He made us plant. He made us take care of the birds before we go to school. And then all of us had our turns. So I learned it growing up, not from any book. So when I finished university, my first degree, while I was waiting for youth service, I went to Ogun State, to a place called Animal Care Consult. As Ogereremo, I spent 3 months there, inside the farm, learning. Fish farming. poultry farming. Now, I didn't use it immediately. Once I was done with youth service, I got my Zenith Bank job. And so I had small tanks at the back of my house, farming. Not because I wanted to do the business, but I was now doing the practical aspect of what I had learned. Unconsciously, that passion grew inside of me. When I became a man and I thought I wanted to invest, agriculture became a thing of passion to me. I teach passion every time. There are two types of passion. Passion can be innate, passion can be acquired. Innate passion is that which you're born with. You don't know how you loved it or how you started doing it. You just saw yourself doing it. But a lot of times, those of us who have innate passion, we ignore the passion inside of us and then we focus on what other people are doing that we want to start to learn. Passion can be acquired by learning or by association. The thing with doing a business you're passionate about is that the work is easy. I was speaking at the Port Youth Conference last month, and I told them, the work is easy, you're having fun, and you're making money. If you want to force an external activity on yourself that you've not learned or you've not made yourself passionate about, it makes it difficult to do. So you're working hard, you're not working smart. Passion is important. You must grow it. You must grow the skill. You must grow the ability. If you don't go do farming because everybody is farming. That's what everybody is doing now. So there's a lot of money in that space. You must immerse yourself in it. And then you think of scaling. Have a big picture in mind. Think big, but start small. The secret in starting small is that when you make mistakes, you make small mistakes. Because, you see these mistakes, you must make it. They say experience is the best teacher. That is when it doesn't kill you. If experience is a bad experience and it kills you, where are you to learn from it? Is it from the grave? It brings me to mentorship. Subject yourself to mentorship. What people have done before, the routes they've taken that were so bad and dangerous and disastrous, when you listen to them, it saves you from making that same mistake. And so what will have taken you 10 years to do can just take you 2 years to do. The big mistakes they've made already. But now they will tell you that we made these mistakes because we did this. But a lot of you do this thing. When you go to mentors, you want to hear the success stories. Forget about the success stories first. That will come. Ask them, how did you feel? What were the most difficult moments while you were doing this business? What were the things that, thinking back now, you would have not done? Before you ask them, naturally, while they are sharing their failures, they will automatically share the successes. If you're so focused on the success parts, you will lose out on a lot. Because sometimes there's more lesson to learn from the failure than from the success. Next one. Failure is not a bad thing. I know your pastors tell you every time. There's no event I've gone to that I've not heard somebody say about failure. But here's the thing. It is a fear of failure that has limited a lot of people. You have a business idea and you want to start it. You just mention to one person. Say, that business that almost destroyed in Nkechi. Is it what you want to do? I know they will. And then that business dies. Courage is capital. Sometimes dare to fail. When you fail, you've just learned a particular way of not doing a particular thing. A man who has failed before is a lot times better than a man who has never tried it before. You must have the boldness. Sometimes you want to knock on the door, and you say, this man, this woman, I hear she's a very terrible person. Auntie, knock the door first. The worst thing is that they won't open for you. The worst you can get is a no. And the last time I checked, a no has never killed anyone before. When they tell you no, You just look for the next door to knock. But please, before you knock, equip yourself. The elites of today are inundated with demands, favors. Everybody wants something. But in doing so, people are not looking for people that will add more burden to them. They're looking for people who will add value. The best way to break a locked door open is value. Don't go beggarly place. Go with something. You carry something. First, discover what you carry. Use that as a key to open that door for yourself. Don't go begging. It's not a favor. You want to add value. You want to bring change. Sir, I've watched your organization. I've seen that there are certain things you're not doing right. At no cost, I want to add value to you. Watch me, I'll do this for free. Do the first one, do the second one. And the man realizes that you're truly adding value. When I was a banker, people used to say that I was arrogant. Why? I don't go to marketing. It's so weird when I see young people knock on doors. They say, sir, I have target. They want to sack me. I say, really? Please, they should hurry up and sack you quick. Because if I was your employer, I would actually sack you. I don't go out on marketing. I don't go out. I was focused on one company. Spend 3 months, study the inside and outside operations of the company. And then I go with solutions of what they're not doing right. Sir, how do you still pay your staff by cash in today's time? I want to give you a financial solution. These days, we have internet banking. Then it wasn't common. Zeri Bank was one of those that started that. So you can say, sir, no, you can't be writing checks up and down. Let's do this. And you say, oh, really? Watch me, sir. Let me handle your payroll this month. You do it, and it works. I'm like, wow, this is possible. I was pursuing a particular man, and then he said, no, he's so close to his bankers. He's been doing business with them for close to 20 years. I said, no problem, sir. Just give me your salary account. Let me just help you solve this problem. As we were doing that, I took all his invoices. State parastatals, federal parastatals. Remember that as a banker then, I was in public sector, so we had relationships. NDDC, state government, federal government. We always know who to call. I would take his invoices and go to those finance offices and pursue his payments. Payments that have been pending for 2 years, 3 years, I'll bring them out in 1 month. I'm not his staff. But this is a difficult wall to break. He's so loyal to his bankers. I needed to do something extraordinary to drag his attention to me. The day he called me for a 40 billion transaction, he was begging me. I've tried here, it's working. I tried here, I said, don't worry, sir. I'll solve this problem. I'm sorry for him. Now, when I left banking, he was one of those begging me that, no, why are you leaving banking? What value do you have? What is your USP? When we talk about your unique selling propositions, a lot of times you talk about businesses. Yes, the way it works for businesses, that is the way it works for you as a person. When you leave the room, what will be missed? When you leave that job, what will they say? Who are you? What's your identity? Last month, I was speaking to some young people, and I gave them the instance of Jesus Christ. When he went to Bethsaida and performed the miracle, where he made the blind man see. And he was leaving Bethsaida, he walked into a pagan populated community called Caesarea. He stopped short and asked his disciples, who do men say that I am? And then they answered him, this, that. He was not satisfied. So, okay, you that walk with me, who do you say I am? That is your Jesus. I told him again, when Moses had an encounter with the burning bush, and when God said to him, go and tell the children of Israel that I am coming to save them. Tell them, I am the God of your fathers, the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. I'm sending you to save them. Moses was not satisfied. He came back and said, sir, but hold on. When I go to deliver this message, who shall I tell them that sends me? What is your name? And then God said, arrogantly, I was like, what is this boy? You know me, and I mean, ask her a question. The way God could summarize himself was that tell them, I am who I am that I am. So even God, your God, found it necessary to introduce himself. He was conscious of his identity. Talk more of you. What are the elements of you? What is it that defines you? What is special about you? Please, sir, amplify it and use it as an advantage. In your personal life, in doing business, you cannot grow in business without adding value. We know the challenges. We know as a country, there's a multiplicity of challenges. We know at every level, at the subnational level, at the national level, at the supranational level, there are challenges all over the world. Globally, there are challenges. But in all of these challenges, it is your unique ability that will help you surmount the challenges, and in doing so, convert challenges to opportunities and make money. Money is not magic. It's solving problems that make money. You're a laundryman, you wash a man's clothes, but you solve his problem that you could not solve. What are the problems? Amplify your giftings via knowledge. In learning, look for mentors. Who has done it before? Who are you listening to? Who are you associating with? Philip in the Bible came in contact with the Ethiopian Enoch. And then he asked him, the man was trying to study the gospel, read. And he asked him, understandest thou what thou readest? All my life I have known this portion. But one day, my eyes moved to a part of it. Not what Philip said, the response that the Ethiopian Enoch gave to Philip. He said, how shall I understand unless there's a man to put me through? Not God, though. God will do his parts. But there's a place of a man who knows better than you in your life. You want to do an event, you just jump and you go and pay for autograph, and you say, all you Port Harcourt people, come to this event. Bro, the hall will be empty. But you can sit down with those who have done it before. You can collaborate with them. It brings me to my next point, collaboration. The biggest failures of Nigerian farmers is collaboration. We want to do it alone. This man now will not come and share my profits with me. No, I can't trust Nigerians, so that's how we fail. Everybody has his own unique ability. You may be a fantastic production person, but you're bad at sales. There are people who are gifted, they can convince anybody to buy. They can convince anybody to buy. So we did a hackathon after Port Harcourt. Every year I do Port Harcourt Tech Expo. I do a hackathon afterwards to pick smart minds who can fund their businesses. So I understand that Stewart was here yesterday to speak. My team told me, let's bring guys from Lagos to organize. I said, come. Are you telling me that in all of these Port Harcourt, we don't have people? I said, go and comb the town. Then I brought this lanky-looking young man. I said, with his hair. I said, man, wow. But when he opened his mouth, I saw real value. I said, Stewart, I don't want anybody again micromanages everything about the hackathon. Sourcing for the competitors, everything, manage the process. I just gave it to him. He did it last year, he did it this year. I don't know how he does it. He just gives me his budget. I give him, he does a fantastic job. You can't do it all alone. In doing that, I told them, the finalists, most of them built fantastic products, but did not know how to pitch the products. You must not be the person to pitch a product that you built. You must not be your own salesman. If you're good at sales, it's fine, but you must collaborate. Let me tell you something. You can be the biggest agribusiness person, and then you don't even own one farm. You can convert your sales skills and skill sets to a business. So you go around, scout, get agro products, and distribute. It brings me to my next point. Most farmers, I mentioned it earlier, but from a different perspective, just dwell in production. You want to produce eggs and sell eggs. The biggest part of agriculture is in retail. The people that come to your farm to buy eggs from you, they make more margin than you who spends time to produce it. The guy who called me about this event and told me that he's going to call me, my friend, David Sipa, he owns a very big farm. I helped him set up his farm. Today, he's one of the biggest chicken suppliers in Port Harcourt. He goes to the west to truck chicken down to Port Harcourt. As you're building your agribusiness, build an organic market that are loyal to you. Tap down the entire value chain from production to distribution. Then at some point, create a community. You can have an agribusiness summit. Bring people together. They come and they register for your events. Everybody who registered there is a potential customer or a potential distributor. Data. You produce, you distribute, you have an organic market. Then you can now create a community such that anybody who wants to sell egg depends on you. You don't own one farm, but you control the egg market in Port Harcourt. You control the chicken market. You know all the people who need chicken. The farmer most times doesn't have time. So you don't have to be a producer. I'm not a tech person, but I organized the biggest tech event in the South. Last year, we had over 4,000 something people in Port Harcourt. They told me, but I don't attend tech events. I said, no problem. If I do it, my first edition, we have over 3,000 people per day. I know nothing about tech, but I partner with a tech company. I mentor a lot of them. I'm not in the tech business. I don't know what code. I don't know how to code. The worst tech, the highest tech I know is Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, because presentations, Excel, and the few apps, positions I use as a banker. That's all. You don't have to be an agri person, but you can own the biggest agribusiness. That's how to build business. If you don't have the time to acquire knowledge, sir, buy the knowledge. A mentor must not be someone, we have this impression that the mentor must be older than you, big man, that you go to his office with gray hair, you say, my son, don't do this. No. Any person who knows more than you in that sphere can be your mentor. Your mentor can be 40 years younger than you. If you don't have the time to go see the mentor, sir, hire the mentor to come and sit in the office and mentor you every day. You may not have the time to acquire the knowledge. Okay, you can hire the smart minds that know these things already. But in everything that you're doing, you cannot do without knowledge. Your business will fail. Agribusiness is the future. No matter how much we do digital adoption, no matter how much AI that comes, you still need to go and till the soil. Africa is blessed with a population. Nigeria is blessed with a market. Nigeria is just looking for the people that will meet the demands market. But guess what? All of us are waiting for who will bail the cat. People are cleaning out quietly. And it presents an opportunity to young people. Farming has evolved. In those days, farming used to be for the old women and old men. I was shown a video last week. A young lady packaged palm oil in cans. Cans. She doesn't produce palm oil. She goes to buy from producers. Just packaging. And then she's selling all over Nigeria. Agriculture. You must not be the one to produce. You might just be the one who distributes. You might not be the one who... So I was speaking to some young people last week. This young lady was so proud. Her mother sells akara and has trained all of them in the university. She just finished her MBA in the UK and came back. And so she was telling me, what she wants to go into. She wants to work in a bank or a corporate sector. And then I was looking at her. She said, come. Your mother sold akara to send all of you to school. Am I correct? She said, yes. You now you want to go and work for a bank, have you? I said, yes. That's fine. Why not sit down as somebody who has gone to school and has gained a master's in business administration and has earned a master's in business administration? Why not think of the MBA way of packaging akara? Everybody still eats akara. It has not changed. I eat it. We eat it. What if we have an akara place in Port Harcourt that everybody wants to go to? What if you modernize the business and have branches and scale and have branches all over Nigeria? Your mother sells mama puts. There's a woman in Lagos, on Lagos Street in town. Since I was a child, she has been selling rice, beans, plantain, mama puts. We go there till now. We go weekend when I play table with my friends. We order, we eat it. She has handed over to her children. The brand is there. Times are changing. The industry is evolving. Your business should evolve alongside. Your businesses must not die. That's the difference between the Jews and us. They raise their children from day one to understand and key into their businesses. So now it is dynastic. This is succession planning. Most businesses around the South die with the owners because there's no succession planning. It's okay for your children to go and end PhD and all of that, but there must be that thing inside of them that grows alongside the business, so that even the guy is a bank MD. There's no billionaire that has only one source of income. None. That's not to say that at the beginning stage you must confuse yourself. Choose one. Carve a niche for yourself. And then when you've mastered it, begin to create a value chain. Invest in other little businesses. Dangote does cement. He does sugar. He does noodles. He does everything. Now he's doing petroleum. So you must not forget your source. I'm trying to say that farming was where most of us began, our parents began from. Why must we now? We're too fresh for the soil. We're too big now. We're billionaires. Now we're big boys now. So that's where the money is. I'm not saying that you don't have other good businesses. But as a nation, we must deliberately, intentionally embrace food production. Our food security is very, very... Every nation has a department in the office of the National Security Advisor whose work is food security. If you want to attack a country, attack their food. Then you have caused problem. Food security is as important as physical security. It's not somebody that's eating that will go to war. So, but we toy with it because we're so blessed. I deliberately left my slides. I didn't want to go to academic, talk about World Bank statistics and MBS statistics and all of that. Because I saw the demography in the room, mostly young people who need to hear these things. In conclusion, please, start small, think big. Your business is small, but you envision a very big one over time. Because in starting small, your mistakes are smaller. Collaborate. Who does it better? Who is doing it already? You have an idea. Call Chima. Chima, I have this idea. I can do this. I see that you are very good in this aspect. Let's come together. Or you can pool resources. You want to start the business, we don't have enough resources. As people come together, that's what Lagos is using to thrive. Young people in Lagos are they're billionaires. But we, local champions, you have 20 million. So you are in your family, nobody has ever had 20 million. So you're a big boy. You put it in fixed deposits. You say, no, I want to own my business alone. You're making a profit of, say, 50,000. But you can collaborate and make a profit of 500,000. And then you have 250,000. So there's nothing wrong with collaboration. At the national level, we must embrace knowledge. We must embrace the culture of raising the kind of leaders that we want. At the individual level, we must embrace knowledge. We must learn and learn and learn before we go into any kind of business. We must have distribution in mind. We must have the consumer in mind when we're producing. And when God blesses you and you already have the customers, some customers will never complain, but they will never come back. Value every one person that walks into your store to buy from you. Thank them when they pay you. They send you payment receipt. You say, okay, I saw a lot of other places to buy from, and I bought from you. And you just say, every man has ego. Treat your customer like a king. Oh, I've seen your payments a lot. Thank you so much for your patronage. Without you, our business will be dead. He feels good and he wants to come back next time. Treat your customers as special people. Treat them as kings, because no business can exist without customers. But what we see is that when businesses scale, when they grow, they begin to take customers for granted. So they become too big for your customers. She was there for you when you were in one room, but now you are in a duplex. So she can't afford you anymore. So she can't even see you, the owner, anymore. If you don't want your customers to be seeing you, let them not see you from day one. Let them see your customer service people or your front desk people. The minute you become the face of your business, until you have to remain like that, because they will say, we started with you, but now you're too big for us. Sometimes we have ideas that look impossible, and so we are afraid to take the first step. In response to that, I'd like to share the words of Muhammad Ali, a boxer, with you. He says, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. There's power in everybody that is alive. There's power to change the world. There's value the world is waiting for you to add. My purpose here will be fulfilled if we live here today and then we have that drive to change our world. We look inwards at the innate ability and capacity and giftings and talents that we have to change our world. If all of us put our hands together and say we're going to revolutionize agribusiness in Nigeria, trust me, that vision we can achieve. Thank you. God bless you.
I think we should give Doctor a standing ovation. If your legs are not too heavy, please can you give Doctor a standing ovation? Wow. Wow. Please, you may be seated. Wow. I think the energy in the room, I think the room is actually hotter now. Can you feel it? I think the room is hotter. A whole lot has been said. And like we said yesterday, we are not here to talk. We are here to do what? To walk the talk. So when you go back, we are not just going to go back to your house and just keep idle. No. We must walk the talk. You know, so when you were speaking, I was incredibly blessed. Honestly speaking, I was incredibly blessed. Incredibly blessed. And one thing, I've noticed something since yesterday. Well, I've always noticed that. I've always known that. And that's the fact that most of the things we say right here in this conferences are principles that can be drawn from the scripture. Did we notice that? You notice that most of our speakers are, driving some of these things from what we see in the Bible that we read every day. I'm saying it because it's very important. The Bible says in the book of Luke 14, who begins to build without first counting the cost. And when Doctor was speaking, he talked a whole lot about knowledge, that knowledge is currency, that before you produce, you must think consumption. Who is going to buy what you are producing? Before you start a business, you have to seek knowledge. Some people, because, bandwagon effect in Nigeria. This person is doing POS. 10 other persons will line up and start doing POS in that same spot. This person is doing this. Every other person wants to do that. You must seek knowledge first. Please, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause one more time for our speaker. Okay, please, without further ado, we are already behind time, so we'll go straight into the Exhibitors brand. We have our exhibitors here today, and we'd like to give them the opportunity to come and talk about their product, about their brand, about what they do. And first on our list here, we have the Ginger Herbal Extract. Please, are they here? The Ginger Herbal Extract, are they here? Okay. The next on the list is the Scented Room. Are they here? The Centered Room, are they here? Centered Room are here. Please, a round of applause for her as she comes to take the mic. Thank you very much.
Very good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by appreciating my pastor, Pastor Larry Olusheye. He's a senior pastor of House on the Rock here in Port Harcourt. My coming to this exhibition was singularly made possible by his kind gesture. So please help me appreciate him. Okay, about the brand. This brand, The Centered Room, is actually located here in Port Harcourt at the Big Treat Mall. The Big Treat Mall is there at Air Force Junction. We are more than a decade old, and we have been doing perfumes and perfume accessories. So we have varieties of perfumes. So we sent the rooms, we sent the bathrooms, we sent the cars, we sent the beds, we sent the other rooms, and we also have what we call pheromones. They are sex enhancers in form of perfumes. And for the purpose of this exhibition, there is something that was brought to the table. And what is it? We looked at meeting our client's need. That is Make in Nigeria. What I mean by that is that we looked at meeting Nigerians' need. And we brought out two things. One of it is what I'm going to show to you now. It's called Atomizer. Excuse me. So it's called atomizers. So rather than carrying your big bottle of perfume around and then carrying them in the heat and carrying them in the sun, you can put your perfumes here. And if you come to my stand, I'll be showing you how it is being used. This is atomizer, and everybody in Nigeria needs this. In addition to this, we also have the finger perfumes. The finger perfumes. These finger perfumes, rather than buying the big bottle of perfume with about 100,000 naira, you can have several of these, and you have different fragrances to go home with. Above all, I'm running short of time. Above all, we are selling at this exhibition, we're selling at 20% and above discount rate. So if you come to our stand, be sure to get minimum 20% of what you would get in our shop. We're expecting you to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for her one more time. Smell the way you want to be addressed. Very important, I'm telling you. So please do patronize them, go to their stand and see what they have. Okay, still on the exhibitors brand, we still have Win Realty. Are they here? Win Realty, are they here? Okay, please, a round of applause. You have just 3 minutes. Please, let's be fast. Let's try and stick to the time.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wow. It's not every day you get asked to, address more about people who look so intimidating and handsome and beautiful at the same time. So permit me if I shake before you. All right, thank you. My name is Vion. I'm a property broker for Win Group, under which we have 3 sister companies. One is Win Realty, where we deal with real estate, like he rightly mentioned. And we have Win Construct, where we build, plan, and develop for you. And then we also have House 74, where we carry out third-party sales and more. We also have Win Farms, where we farm for you. And in case you don't know what to do with your land, we come in, we advise you and tell you what is feasible, even if it has to do with agriculture. So what is real estate? The major misconception people have about real estate is land. When we just say real estate, we come in about land. But like my mentor will rightly say, everything on top is real estate. Everything beneath is real estate. And he said something that was so profound. Real estate is one of the source of wealth that deals with wealth retention and wealth creation. Now, why are we here at Making Nigeria, especially for an agro-tech fusion? Now, you cannot talk agriculture without a space to use. You can't talk agriculture without mentioning farming, and you can mention farming without a land to farm on. And that is why Win Realty, we came here, we figured for you to actually make the stream of what Making Nigeria is trying to do here, you need a space to call yours. You need a space to make the stream achievable. And that's why Making Nigeria is a platform that you need to embrace, especially with this agri-tech fusion. But coming to Win Realty, we have a project where we set out to actually empower women, especially because we feel they've been left out in land ownership and more. We tagged this project Landlady. We began 2 weeks ago, and with this in mind, we set out 4 spaces in Omagwa, Igritali, Ishokpo, and Omademi. And at the course of this time, we've sold out 2 places. Currently, we only have Omademi and Ishokpo available. And it's simple. We just, as little as 3,200 naira a day, every woman can own a property within a space of 24 months. All you have to do is just come by, put a very mega deposit, and commit to a plan within 24 months. A land is well yours, and you can use it for your agricultural needs and benefits. And with that, we hope to see you at our stand, and we'll tell you more exciting and intentional benefits that would make real estate easy for you, affordable, and reliable. Thank you so much for your time. I remain your property manager, Victor Vion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So please, let's try and visit their stand as well. Up next on the list is Airtel brand. Please, if they are here, how they come to the stage. Please, a round of applause. A round of applause.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's a great privilege to be here. My name is Philip, and I was told I have just 3 minutes. So I will spend just 1 minute in appreciating every speaker that I've climbed on this podium today to say 1 or 2 things. These words are very inspiring, I must tell you. I came here to talk about Airtel, and boldly I've learned so many things today that I'm going home with. The doctor said a lot of things. Mommy said a lot of things too about the agricultural business. And again, I want to stand on the platform of talking about the knowledge is so emphasized on. Knowledge. We can actually gain a whole lot from knowing things, knowing that they exist. A wise man once said that I can be able to go far by standing on the shoulders of those that have went before me. So how does Airtel play? And how does Airtel play in this field of knowledge? We all agree that we are in the days of data. And the world is far gone, those days where we need to do a lot of things with our hands. Simply they're just saying hello, hi on WhatsApp. You can get somebody, can say a lot of things to people outside your country. Permit me to use a very wonderful transportation company, for example, like GIG, God is Good Motors. I'm in Edo State. I stayed in Benin, where I grew up, and they were just one of those public transports that you knew until technology hits them and they hit us back with technology. And we can boldly say that God is Good is one of the top transporting company in Nigeria because of technology. Airtel, on the other hand, can help you sell very well in your agricultural business. Airtel, on the other hand, can make you visible in your business as far as agric is concerned. I know a friend of mine who is in Bayelsa with me, and all she does is just literally buy oil and buy stuff from the market, and then she repackage them and put a name tag on it. And guess what? She's selling around the world. I have a niece in Holland who shops from Bayelsa from her. Simply because she just gave me a flyer one day and said, "Can you please help me post the flyers?" And I posted on WhatsApp, on Instagram, using data. And then she saw it and she ordered. And that's how far your business can go out of the shores of Nigeria. Airtel has various products or services that we can offer you and give you unlimited data for as small as nothing. We have a stand downstairs. We are giving out free routers today. Just come and pay for the data. And you can have the routers to yourself. And guess what? They are all unlimited. Thank you very much. I hope to see you there when you come.
Thank you very much. Airtel, the smartphone network. You know, it was given the TV commercial vibe. Please, a round of applause for Airtel, please. We all know Airtel. Just go to the stand. Okay, very quickly, we have another brand on the list, the Silver Cone. Are they here? After the Silver Cone, we also welcome HI Birds and Craft. HI Birds and Craft, please also do get ready. A round of applause for Silver Cone as they come.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here. My name is Tambari Hope, and I'm the marketing manager at Silvercone Cooperative. Silvercone Cooperative is practically on how to grow your finance. You're strictly on loans, and you can also be part of our cooperative in terms of saving with us and be getting some benefits monthly. And also, we offer SME loans, IPPIS loans for federal government workers, and we give loans to individuals. In order not to waste your time, our stand is B23, and you can come to our stand. We have representative there to tell you more about what we do, just in case you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Brief and impactful. So in case you need loan or you know who needs loan, you know who to meet. Okay, so up next on the list is HI Birds and Craft. Are they here? If they are not here, then we'll go straight to Ivan Global. Are they here? A round of applause for Ivan Global as they come.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favor, the Business Development Manager of Ivan Global and Investment Group, Port Harcourt branch. On behalf of my GMD, Dr. Uzo Nawangwa, I want to say thank you to the organizers of this program. Just to go straight to the point, we are a lending company, and we know that so many persons have this idea, have business ideas, but they don't have the fund. They don't know how to go about it. Ivan Global is here to help you. What do? We can finance your contract. We can finance your business. We can finance your assets. So many persons are into some businesses, but they don't have the right equipment because they don't have the fund. Ivan Global is here to help you. So we are asking you to come to our stand. Our stand number is 808. If you have any question, we can actually attend to it. Our rate is at a very, in fact, I don't think there is a lending company in Nigeria that has our rate. Just visit our stand and we'll tell you more about our loan facilities. And again, there is something that Ivan Global does that you would want to venture in. Please, I would love you to come close to us and hear what we have to offer. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we've had a lovely time all along. Do you agree with me? Okay, so one more time for all our speakers so far. Can you clap for them, please? It's been so much knowledge on display. So much knowledge on display. All right, so very quickly, we're going to go into the panel session, and we have our panelists seated. That's going to be another intriguing moment. I'm sure you saw what happened yesterday at the panel session, where it became a wonderful, more like a debate. I hope we don't have a debate today, but I can assure you we would have an intriguing panel session. All right, very quickly, can I get some? I want. Can you go to this? Okay, so we have this panel session that's going to handle quite a lot that's been bugging your mind. And when I bring up the panelists, I want you to clap them very well. They are going to be sharing their wealth of experience. And of course, you will go back home with so much wisdom. First on the panel session for today, we have Victor Alete. Let's clap for Victor Alete as he comes forward. Keep clapping till you see who he is. Thank you. The next person on the panel, we have Nenda Queen. Nenda Queen. Keep clapping. We have Fenibo Fubara. Fenibo Fubara. Please let's clap him till he comes up stage. And we have Richard Sodenye Purple. Richard Sodenye Purple. This one. Sorry. All right. So very quickly, we're going to get into the panel session, and it's going to be a lovely moment like you've been told. You have to, panel sessions are not like speaking sessions where somebody has the microphone and is speaking for quite a number of minutes and hours. But for the panel session, you have the opportunity to ask your questions on the spot. And that is one thing you're going to do through the panel session. So very quickly, in 1 minute, I'm going to give the microphone to each of them to give us an opening brief. An opening brief tells us about yourself and what you're doing and how what you do affects the theme of this year's conference, which we know is fusion. And we're looking at the fusion between agric and tech. So I'm going to begin from my far right, from the lady, as the saying goes, ladies first. Let's uphold that even in this meeting. So to the lady, let's hear your name. Of course, I mentioned your name, Nenda. It's a beautiful name. Nenda. Good. And you're going to tell us what you do and how what you do affects the theme of the conference for this year. Please let's clap for her one more time.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Just like you said, my name is Amy Inenda Queen, and I'm the director of BrandVox, a media and marketing agency here in the city of Port Harcourt. When we are not helping small businesses penetrate the online space, we offer education and training in terms of media, marketing, journalism, etc. Now, how does this affect the agricultural sector? Recently, our parent company, which I'm a co-founder of Avos Tech Up, we've been able to, what we do is infuse technology into the agricultural system, providing solutions like softwares that help in terms of logistics and food security in the agricultural system. We are trying to bridge the gap between technology and agriculture. So not to take all of the time, in simple terms, that's how I am involved in the agricultural system. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Please, let's clap one more time. You're going to do a lot with me. You just keep clapping and keep applauding. Let's give the mic to Mr. Victor Alete.
Okay, good day, everybody. My name is Alete Victor. I'm the principal partner of Ensanche Global. It's basically a farm. Why I'm here is because we're trying to see how we can fuse tech with us, because basically this is for us. It's not necessarily for the tech. Tech is tech, and agric is agric, but we're trying to see how we can, through this conversation, see how we can come together and make the whole space move faster or better.
Thank you. Please, let's clap for Mr. Victor. Okay, I have to my left Fenibo Fubara. Please, let's hear what.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Fenibo Fubara. So basically, I will introduce myself in two capacities. First off, I'm the founder of DroneWalk, a tech talent matching platform that has almost every tech person, everybody who has any tech skill that you would possibly need to transform your business as a tech business into a as an agric business, rather, into a tech-enabled business, right? So you can find any of these persons: software developers, salespersons, UI UX designers, graphic designers, telesales, product managers. You can find them on the platform. They are all vetted. You don't need to bother about wanting to know if they can do the job or not. Within 24 hours, in fact, instantly, as you drop your request on the platform, our algorithm matches you with those persons who match to your specific requirements: location, amount, experience level. It matches you, and then you can work with those persons on the platform and make payments to them on the platform in such a way that they will be able to deliver value for you before you even make payment. So that's on one side. As a founder of DroneWalk, I also serve as the special assistant on ICT to the governor, right? And on that, I think it keys into the vision of this event, because basically what I do is to see how to look into various areas around ICT, the potentials of the state, how we can expand and leverage on those untapped potentials, which basically agriculture is one of them, right? So,
thank you very much. Please, let's clap for him one more time. I was just noticing while he was speaking that we share something in common in our dressing. We have black rings. So please clap for my black ring. All right. So let's hear from our last panelist here. Quickly, let's get to know Mr. Richard. Why you're here and how it affects our team.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. My name is Richard Sodeni Pepo. I'm the lead at Technov Innovations Nigeria. We're a technology-focused company based in Bonny Island. We focus on two things: digital literacy and digital solutions. So we provide digital literacy training for young people on the island and, of course, across the island, as well as build digital solutions for businesses. How does this, of course, relate to agriculture? We don't technically have any linkage with agriculture, but we've been able to groom people that have been able to develop a solution for farmers and for people in the agricultural sector. And one of them is actually an AI tool called Reforest AI that is used to track deforestation in different parts of the country. So with that, I think there's like a linkage between that and agriculture.
Thank you. So practically, I want to draw your attention to the fact that yesterday we had a very heated argument here on the platform. And we practically spoke the mind of the farmers. You know, the essence of the tech and Agrofusion, which is the theme for this year's Making Nigeria conference and exhibition, is to promote a collaboration between tech and agriculture. So we get off that old idea that agriculture is meant for the poor, or agriculture is meant for the elderly in the village, or those in the rural areas alone. We need to see how what looks like the in thing now, which is tech, is able to fuse with agriculture that looks like the old thing, bringing it together. So I'm going to start from Mr. Fenibor. How do you bring in the concept of tech to our farmers? I need you to know that in this hall, we have some members of the Farmers Association of Nigeria River State chapter seated in this hall. We also have some directors from the local government. I think I can spot one. She's seated here as well, one of the directors from the local government in the area of agriculture. How do we convey the message of tech to the grassroots, to the rural areas, to the farmers who predominantly at the moment are not as educated in tech as every other person around society?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Yes, I agree with you that majority of the persons here are farmers, although they don't look like farmers. You guys are too tush to be farmers now. I can't see any farmer here, like, honestly. Am I saying the truth? Okay. You guys own, you run farm business. Your farmers, like, but you don't do the real work. You're not the ones. Okay, practical. Like you go to the village to do the real work. You don't look like kids. Okay, you guys don't look like it, right? So, how does tech match into what you do as a farmer or as a farm owner, right? Or as an agripreneur, someone who runs a farm business? Let me start by saying that technology can sound very big and complex. For example, these days we're talking about artificial intelligence. We're using big words, AI, blockchain, NFT, and a lot of technological things that you might not be ready to want to assimilate at this time. But the big question is the fact that you need to answer the question about what is actually bringing you, what brought you into the agri-business, for instance. There is nobody here that is in the agri-business just because you like it or because it's something you're just passionate about. Almost all of us here, we've gone into or we are in the business because we just want to make money out of it. True or false? True or false? Wow. Let me ask the question again. Why did you go into the agri-business? Is it just because you have passion for it or you want to make a living or money out of it? Passion first, then money. Okay, in terms of percentages, what's the main reason why you are in that business? Is it just because you like it or because you want to at least make a profit out of it? So why was I getting the other response? Okay, yeah. So because you want to make profit. I remember the speaker saying that distribution or the sales of those agri products is even the most profitable aspect. Did you hear that from him? Did you hear that from him? Honorable Enemy George, did you hear that from him? All right, so now, knowing that, remember we're talking about strengthening, the theme of this panel, if I'm not mistaken, is strengthening the agricultural value chain through knowledge and policy. Now, that is a knowledge that he has dropped for us. The knowledge that the people who even sell or who sell those agri products, they are the ones that even make much more money than the people who, the powerhouse, people who farm under the sun and all that. You don't need to wait for another knowledge. This knowledge alone is enough. The proof of knowledge is engagement. You've heard about it. It's not just to write it and you go home. Now, if that sector or that value chain point, which is almost like the last in the value chain ladder, if that is the most profitable aspect, what it means that's what you should be thinking about. It's not about hard work. It's not just about passion. It's also about profitability and survival. You don't want to be doing what you like, and then you don't have anything to show for it. I don't think that's what you want to do. Do I have anybody that wants to do that? Thank God I won finally. Okay, so now if that's the point, if making profits is the point, which is distribution, which is sales, that's where technology comes. Because technology is an enabler. It is what helps you to be able to reach out to much more persons that you would have ordinarily been able to reach without those technology, right? Technology is an enabler. It gives you that advantage or that leverage to reach out to more persons in terms of sales and distribution. So it is technology that will be able to give you, if ordinarily, without technology as a farmer, you sell to, let's say, you sell to 20 persons, or you're in the village and you're able to go to the markets in that village. Most times villages, they have a particular day that is set out for the market. You go there and you're able to sell to 10 persons and you go back with some profit. But now we are talking about technologies. Technology that would help you to be able to not just wait for that market day. Oil Mill Day, for example, in Port Harcourt every Wednesday. I don't know if it's still like that. It's still like that every Wednesday. So technology is that thing that enables you not to wait for days or seasons or times before you sell or make profit. It's that thing that would also give you the advantage to reach out to far more persons than you should have ordinarily been able to reach out to. I'll give you an example. In tech, in the world of tech, there is what they call a unicorn business. A unicorn business is any business that has at least a valuation of up to $1 billion. That is a unicorn. And in Nigeria, I don't think we have up to 5 or 6 of those unicorns. But trust me, there is somebody that is, I don't want to use the word smarter than you, but there is somebody that have just leveraged this knowledge that the speaker dropped, which is that distribution or sales, that's where the money is. There's somebody or a group of companies that have just leveraged that, and they are on their way to become a unicorn as per $1 billion valuated company. I don't think any of us have even started thinking in that capacity. As a farmer, we are still trying to get our 100,000, 200,000, 1 million profit, 50 naira, and all that. But there are persons that are leveraging technology. Now, what do? They've been able to build a platform, right? They've been able to build a platform that brings all of you in as farmers. You're a farmer, not even you guys that are here now. Like, they go to the rural areas and they negotiate with the farmers there, right? They buy all those crops, all those items that they've been able to plant for an extremely little amount or very cheap, right? They buy that. They're able to store it in town areas that's close to any of their customers, right? That would want to order those items from them. And so basically they have all those things. They have all those products on their platform. The ones that are already processed, the raw ones, anything you want, agri product on their platform. In fact, they are the markets. They are the new oil mill markets. They are the new Rumokoro markets. But they are not in oil mill. They are not in Rumokoro. They are on your phone. So anybody who wants to buy something, you want to go to the market, you don't need to go to Rumokoro. You don't need to go to oil mill market. All you need to do is to hold your phone. Airtel guys, they were here. They said data is the new oil. Once you have data from Airtel or anywhere, and you have a phone, you just go to the platform, right? And once you go to the platform as a wife or as a woman, all you need to do is to just enter every single thing you need. Onion, pepper, maggi, crayfish, plantain, gari, 1 cup. Just specify them. And these people will arrange them for you faster than the way that you would have, faster than if you wanted to go to the market yourself. Because if you want to go to the market, you first of all go, buy, and come. But by doing that, they already have persons around situated in various depot and market. There are stores, storeroom, right? They put all those things for you, all those things you've ordered for you at a cheaper price, even cheaper than the market, and then bring it back to you in a well-packaged manner that you will even be proud that you went to the market. You'll be feeling like somebody that's just coming from ShopRite. Well-packaged, waterproof, like you'll be proud of it, right? They bring it to you. If it's a frozen food, it is still frozen. It has not freezing. It's still frozen, and everything is cool, and they bring it to you, and you just cook. The name of that platform is Price Pally. I'm not marketing for them. I'm not part of them, but I'm giving you an example. So what am I saying? You can leverage technology by being smart to build a platform or a marketplace that brings all the farmers that have items and everybody that wants that product. They come to the marketplace, and you deliver that value seamlessly. Now, the advantage is that you're delivering it to almost everybody in the world, depending on your ability to scale. Almost everybody in the world. Thank you.
Please, can we clap? So that has been like a very insightful opening session, because when the speakers talked, they talked about consumption as the end point of your production, and that's the most important thing. If you make a lot of produce and then there's no way to market it and push it down, which is the retail process, to the final consumer, then obviously it's a futile effort. Am I correct? What you produce only makes sense when somebody consumes it. Am I correct? So right now we have young farmers right here in the audience. What you need to do is get back to the drawing board. See how you can leverage tech. Yesterday we had Mr. Stewart from Havrox. He taught us a lot about partnership and collaboration. See how you can leverage tech to build a platform. Price Pally, right? He just mentioned Price Pally. You can build something like that. Serve the population and ensure that local farmers have their products marketed. So at the end of the day, you're affecting the value chain. You're affecting the local farmer. You're affecting the life of the person who needs the produce. And then you are also making your profit at the end of the day. But I want to ask this question to the lady. So when he began speaking, you know, when he looked into the audience, you probably deciphered on your own that they were not farmers. Probably by the way they were looking, they're looking dressed up in suits, and they're looking too touche and posh for farmers. But how can we change that narrative? How can we change that narrative? So I want you to tell me and the audience a bit about a targeted solution that changes that narrative. Because if you go out of this space, now from the Nigerian space, you realize that you see rich farmers out there. Do you agree with me? You see rich farmers out there. You see a farmer who drives his SUV and comes to the farm. You see a farmer who almost everything is mechanized, everything is computerized. Now, talking to our local Nigerian farmers, how do you create a targeted solution? Or what targeted solution do you recommend? Or do you have from your stables that affects the life of our farmers directly?
So first things first, the place you are aiming for is it's like this. I think there are things that are at this level that we should first of all be looking at. Just like you said, they came here, they are sitting down, and we can't even tell they are farmers. What made you believe that they are not rich? The first thing to say. So, targeted solutions, like you said, that can help. I think they have to leverage more on technology. I'll mention 3 things that will struggle most in the agricultural sector. We have low farmers' income, we have low quality produce, and then we have waste as a very major issue in farming, right? I think there are a lot of solutions right now. I think in the West Africa, there's an app that was created, Ignitia also, that is being used to check for rainfalls and droughts and all of those things. And with tools like that, farmers can be able to at least manage the quality of their soil, know when it's going to be drought system, how you can be able to plant. I noticed that a lot of us farmers, we still do head game knowledge. So you have acres of land, or you want to plant maize in this particular place, and you're just assuming that you need trailer of what's it called, fertilizer to work on that farmland. And with tools where you can be able to, technology tools that you can be able to measure, they are currently available, gauge how many liters of water do you need, how many tons of water do you need, fertilizer, pesticide do you need to farm on this farmland. Now, this particular thing is going to help us manage waste, number one, increase our quality of produce, right? And help farmers earn more. So let's start, first of all, we need to start adapting the major challenges. We are not yet adapting. We are still doing things traditionally. We need to, first of all, adapt. Adapt and know that, see, farming is no longer done the regular way. What are the available resources that we can use? And then you key into that and see for yourself.
How do you emphasize that? Okay. Farming is no longer done the regular way.
I just gave an example in terms of, for instance, I want to farm here. I just go to fertilizer, buy plenty, and then I'm just using. Now, just like our speaker mama said, that you do not currently need a whole lot of things, right? When you're farming, right? Using the cassava example, now we have scientists that have reduced and all of those things is now within consumptions and all of that for animals and all of that. In farming today, why I say if you go to the market, pumpkin leaf, for instance, you see that majority of our local farmers do not even know how to use their pesticide. They use their pesticide in a way that it kills their farm produce. I'm from Ikwere, so I know what I'm saying. You go to the farm, you see them, they use it, and it kills, what's it called, more of their crops. And when you tell them, this thing that you are using or you're doing like this, are you getting me, is too much, or are you getting me? It's too much for farm, make you just put down. There's a level of how you use this thing to chase things away and how it start affecting the crop, right? So that's how this education, before we just go farm. Let me use that way. Education is one way we can say farming is no longer done. Let's get the education needed.
So you can utilize tech to promote the adequate propagation of knowledge.
Yes, thank you.
So our farmers can now access platforms that helps them get information.
Yes.
Okay. So when we spoke here, when we listen to our speakers, I think one of the things we remember clearly is that most of them talked about the issues of connecting our local producers to global markets. We heard of the prof that talked about during the Jonathan's regime, how they were able to ensure that every bread that you consumed had 10% of cassava flour in it. Did you hear that? Now, how do we connect our local producers to global markets? Kennedy, because you can have the mic. Now, why I'm asking is this: if you realize that some farmers have started exporting their produce. Are some people here exporting already? Okay, we have a hand there. So just one person out of this number of farmers exporting their produce already. Many people do not realize that your pepper is something you can export. Bitter cola, charcoal, several things that you get from your farmland are things you can export. So being a person in the tech field, how can we leverage tech to connect our local producers to global markets?
All right. So first off, let me start with the question you asked, Feneba. I'll still come back to the question you asked me. I'm going to try and wrap it up as fast as I can. When we talk about using technology and the infusion between technology and agriculture, it's utilizing technology to boost not just sales, but also boost farm productivity. because beyond you wanting to sell more, you also want to preserve your product. You want to understand the climate. You want to understand the right weather for you to plant, the right season for you to plant, and what type of soil that you should plant. And I think it's important to understand that, like Queen also mentioned, that we've moved from the traditional way of doing things to now utilizing technology for most of these things. Something called precision farming. Precision farming allows you to utilize technology to understand the topography of the soil that you want to plant in, as well as to understand the kind of nutrients that is required for that particular product. Because you can't export to global users or consumers without even producing quality product. So your first focus should be ensuring that you have the right product, the quality products, like the professor also mentioned, before you can then think about exporting to global market. Have you even conquered your local market in the first place? When you're able to conquer them, then nothing about going global. But okay, let's say, okay, you've been able to conquer the local market. You have lots of people requesting for your products and the rest. How then do you enter into other territories? I think Feniba also mentioned something, price value or something. So what technology does for you is provide that platform where consumers and marketers or consumers and producers meet. So whether they are in Ogbomosho or they are in Akure or maybe somewhere down in Calabari or Krika or somewhere, or maybe down in New York or South Africa, you're able to meet at that particular point. But this is also where social media comes into play, because how many of us have phones, maybe Android phones or good. We won't say everybody, but technically most of our farmers don't even have that, right? What they know how to use best is the Nokia 3310. So how do you get them to get a smartphone first, to understand that they can put their product on the internet using social media platforms like Facebook, like TikTok, and begin to create content about their product. And then by that way, people outside are able to see the kind of product that they are producing and also want to buy from them. Now, I have somebody in Lagos who produces palm oil and also packages the palm oil. But what she does recently now is utilizing TikTok to sell palm oil. The same palm oil that you go down the streets to buy, I don't know how much you sell it, but you go down the street to buy. That's the same thing someone is in TikTok to sell. And she has people patronizing her from outside the country, because it's actually like a scarce commodity outside the country. So it's for you to then understand first how to use a mobile phone, how to preserve your crops, because another thing you're thinking about in going global is ensuring that you have products that once that are not perishable, maybe don't perish within a space of time, right? Before you can then reach out to your global consumers and then sell your market there with them.
All right. So practically, if you borrow lessons, if you want to clap, you can clap, please. You borrow lessons from the professor's talk, you realize that even the perishable products are able to stay for a long period of time using the technological interventions, like what she showed us from NSPRI. Yeah, she showed us something there, like a solar machine that extracts the water. You know, the lesser the water content, the lighter it becomes and the easier it is for export. But you don't have to blame our farmers if they have not, if they are eyeing the global market. You know, you tech guys, you guys have a lot of your things in dollars. Am I correct? Almost everything happens in dollars. To buy domain now, USD. And at the end of the day, you don't want these farmers to enjoy this dollar exchange. You know what you buy, what you sell in dollars, and you convert to Naira at the end of the day. Am I speaking your mind? It becomes higher in value when you convert to Naira. So our farmers also want to enjoy the benefit the tech people are enjoying. Okay, let's get to you. How do we manage these issues of quality? how do we manage the issues of quality? Prof talked about quality. He is mentioning quality again. It's becoming a recurrent issue. So how do we manage the issue of quality?
So on the issue of quality, I'll take from what she said. A lot of our local farmers don't have information. So for instance, I have a pepper farm, but I do it in a greenhouse. Now, I know that if I put excess fertilizer, my pepper, the fruit, won't last as long as if I use the right quantity of fertilizer. So the person that knows would have better results, better quality produce, and tomorrow you come and say, why this person pepper need to last? And this person's own lasts, or this person's ugu doesn't last. And you understand? So that is the first way we have an information deficit. There's lack of information, seriously, because I can tell you for a fact, if you ask any farmer here who is into crops, what quantity of fertilizer are you supposed to put per plant of pepper? They won't know. Very few people will know the exact quantity. Or if it's because I'm also into pig farming, for each pig, how many kgs of feed is this pig supposed to eat per day? Not everybody knows. They just know we feed it. And it affects the quality of the produce.
Yesterday we had so many pig farmers here, and I wish they were here today. Some of the guys that heated up the panel session yesterday were pig farmers, and I really wish they were here to hear you say this thing said. I'm sure you won't cross the door. Okay, so I'm going to take two live questions from the audience, one from here and one from here. The first hands I see, one from this place already gotten. Any hand from this place? No hand? Okay. So I've got two hands. I'm going to take two live questions. So I'd like a mic to go around to those people in the audience. I'm reserving one last question for Mr. Fenibo. Mr. Fenibo, that last question is going to center on your political office holding now. You've talked about tech. And you know, when the prof was talking, she mentioned a lot about policy. I know you're not a lawmaker, but you are sitting close to the executive. And as a matter of fact, you should be able to, based on your position as an advisor, make good propositions. But we'll get to that. So let's get the mic to the lady. I'm sure you were here from the beginning of the conference. You would introduce yourself and tell us what you do, so that in case the next person sitting close to you needs your services, you don't lose your customer.
All right, thank you very much. First things first, I appreciate the panelists, and this is really beautiful. I wasn't really here from the very beginning, but I came very late. But I'm glad I met this. My name is Nadi Julia Ozichi, by the way. I'm a data analyst. And I should have asked first, do you think I'm a farmer? Do I look like one?
These days, we don't know how farmers look anymore.
Okay, so I'm a data analyst and an artificial intelligence enthusiast. I'm going into it for now. So I didn't really know about this conference, first things first. I think this should get out to the public. I'm not seeing young people here as it should be. It's already a barrier, already. So, and my question is, how do we educate the local farmers to embrace tech? Tech is a thing that is is a thing that the young people are just teaming into because of the money. Exactly, right? So, but older people, you hardly hear older people talk about tech. So how do we let the older people know about tech? My mom, as it is, even now, she still calls me to do some things on, do some things on WhatsApp. So how do we get them to understand that tech can actually get them bigger things than just selling in the local market? And also, secondly, the thing about farmers not looking tush and posh, we are thinking of going to the global market, aren't we? We are not local champions, are we?
We're not.
Are we? So we want to go into the global market and we must look global, right? This mindset of a mechanic must look dirty. You are the mechanic that just wants to look dirty. If you look good, you're still a mechanic, right? So farmers now, we need to even change the narrative from here that we must present ourselves like what we want to be like.
Okay.
Right. So second, my third question is how
third
can
question.
young people? Yes, I have. Okay, I think the first question is how can we educate the local farmers to embrace tech?
And the second one
The
is
second
what?
question is how can young people like us also know that when we are into tech, agriculture is a place to look at. I think before I came to this conference, I was actually looking at the finance aspect of technology. Most of us don't actually look at agriculture at all. We want where the money is, where they're talking about the money. So how do we get young people? Because young people need to be here. I think university students, a lot of them need to be here. I just graduated last year and I'm like, oh, where do I even go into?
Where do you go from here?
I was confused.
All right. So let's take these two questions. Let's fuse them into one. So Kennedy, you want to do justice
Richard.
to that? Okay.
It's Richard.
Richard.
How do you educate your parents or local farmers on how to use first smartphones and then utilize technology to scale up their business? I think this is where government needs to come into place because individuals really cannot just organize symposiums or seminars to educate farmers on the need to use technology. There's a massive role that government plays in driving this particular conversation. But then again, I think it's also important to understand that every person who is an adult has a child, right? And there's that way when you can help your parent to understand the importance of these particular platforms. They may not know how, in fact, they don't even know, most of them are actually like old and they cannot even use these particular platforms, but you can guide them, right? You can guide them on how they can use that. I think a lot of them actually use like WhatsApp.
So
right?
are you saying we need the government?
Yes, because
to guide
to organize symposiums and seminars for them to be able to do that.
Nenda wants to say something. I don't think she agrees. No, you shared it. You go on.
Okay, so I don't really agree with what you said about the government coming in. I understand where you're coming from, right? But just like in other sectors, like let's say for instance, we are in tech in Port Harcourt here. Do we wait for the government to do certain things when it comes to tech for us? We collaborate, hold on, and then we go back to their table, right? And then get them, this is what we have currently, this is what we want to do. We already provide them with the solution, right? All we need you is give the, okay, yeah, thank you, endorsement, and let's do this. Now, it's left for the agricultural cooperatives, right? Their bodies, they do have it. I don't know what they are doing. They do have it. And it's left for them to set out this education to the rural areas. When someone mentioned, I don't know, I've forgotten where you said, yeah, you were the one, Victor. You said education, they lack information and all of those. It's not that they lack it. They don't search for it. They don't, actually. The information, especially in the agriculture, is out there. Enough of it. How many of you know that there are agricultural grants currently ongoing? How many of you know about it? Just few of us. Just few of us. But every day I see them online. How many of us apply for these things? How many of us even know what it takes for us to apply for these grants? We don't know. The only state I would say are benefiting very well from agriculture is Abuja. Abuja is a city. But there are a lot of things in this part that we do not partake of.
Okay. So, you know there's a platform called scholarships.com. There's a platform called opportunitydesk.com. So, why don't we task you with the responsibility of setting up a platform called agricinfo.com? And then let's begin to make it available to our local farmers. So we should tax our tech guys.
There are a lot of them.
There are a lot of them.
A lot of them.
So how do you communicate the information of these platforms to the people? Do you need the government, like he's saying, to communicate the knowledge of these platforms to the farmers? Do we need the government?
There's need for the organizations to share those information across to them. But also, you see, a lot of people take things seriously when it comes from the government.
Do you agree?
No. Farmers don't. Farmers don't. Well, maybe it also depends on your relationship with the government. But a lot of times, government will actually be the ones to share these informations across to them. That's my thoughts, basically.
Okay, so how about, like you talked about collaboration, how about we are able to get a group of young people together? Let's look at the fact that we have rural people in the rural areas, and then we have a platform called NYSC. Why can't we settle down with the core members at the various, they are posted, NYSC posts you to even to the interior nooks and crannies. So why can't we harness the platform called NYSC without government intervention and funding to promote knowledge to the rural areas?
I know told you they are not currently doing it. I think there was a time in 2019.
This is 2025.
Hold on. I did not follow through it. And I'm just saying when I was involved. There was a time in 2019 when the NYSC core members, those that study agriculture and all of those, were being sent to certain bodies, farmer bodies in certain areas to help them in terms of these informations throughout their 1 year period of. So for me, the last time I checked was in 2019. It was being done. I don't know of now. I can't say of now.
Okay.
But it was being done.
We're not going to dwell much on that. Let's get the second question quickly so we can wrap up the panel session. We had one hand there. Did we answer that question for you? Did we answer your question? Partially. Let's hear from Victor on that.
Okay, so the young tech people, they already have access to information, right? You know TikTok. Let me use TikTok, for instance, and Google. Just type anything agric. You will find it there. Now, there's this thing of perception as well. You must eat. Everybody has eaten today, right? Whether you're into tech, you're into construction. I'm an engineer. I studied gas engineering, but I'm in agric space because I know that people must eat. Food is, during COVID was the eye opener for a lot of people that got in. The world shut down, but food had to move. People had to eat. So in your tech space, in your tech, when you're thinking tech, always remember that anyhow you want to do, even if you want to do 72 hours fasting, you must eat. So that if you look at it from that angle, then you're fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me share something in to answer your question also. Just like you said, we have information. You want to go into you said you came out from the finance, right? If you want to go do anything tech in finance, you have to be up to date with the regulatory bodies, the policies, everything. You have to feed yourself with that information before you can use technology to do anything in terms of finance, right? The same applies to agric. You can't say you want to go into the agricultural sector, understand it and use your tech skill there when you don't understand how it operates. How do you do this now? There are a lot of tech seminars, right? There are a lot of tech things. First of all, gain the ground knowledge, not from the tech side. Get the other basic knowledge from the agric side in terms of the policies and everything. And you can bet ideas on how to merge the both of them together because now you understand how those feed both ways.
Okay. So practically, our people told us yesterday, these tech guys must go to the farm and touch the grass. Apparently, our tech guys have not been to the farm. The tech guys need to go to the farm, spend some weeks in the farm and touch the grass. When you touch the grass, you feel the pain of these common farmers, and then you know how to create targeted solutions to meet their needs. Let's take that one last question that The hand there. Oh, you moved down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Come back to your side so that we know that it's equal. No, come back. Take the mic to your side. Take the mic there so we know that we divided it equally.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel Ide, and I am a farmer. I own a farm, CVA Farms, and I also am a co-convener of Innovative Farmers Forum. I don't know if any one of you here is a member of the forum. So we've been able to expand our forum into the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, where we have the North Central, the South-South, the Northeast, and also the Southwest. Now, I just want to share my experience with you because I'm a practical farmer. I'm a fish farmer.
Will your question come out of your experience?
Yes, sure.
Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, no problem. Last year, I traveled to Ibadan for a project to a community called Ido. And it will surprise you to know that it was a Fulani man that was translating what I was saying to a Yoruba man. The experience was mad because there I got to understand that the gap was not really information, but communication. Even on the platform, the Innovative Farmers platform, we have these issues where after you pass out your message on the platform, so many persons don't get to understand you. Probably because they don't understand English. Majority of them from the north, they understand Hausa. So my question to the tech, because I'm also into tech, is, are there modalities in place, or are there things in place you've put in to solve the barrier between a man from this language barrier, thank you, a man from South-South can easily communicate with a man from the north without any barriers? So that's my question.
Has anybody done something like that on this panel?
Okay, so I want,
Go ahead.
Okay. Early this year, we did some projects with the European Union and Germany. And part of it was focused on SMEs or businesses, right? And I was privy to know that it also happened in 4 states. That's Abuja, Kano, Lagos, and Rivers State. Now, peculiar to Kano, it's the fact that a lot of people, women that they had to reach out to, because it was both women and youth, is that they had like this language barrier. So they had to devise a means to get to those people. In terms of technology, we're still talking about farmers being able to even use technology solutions, or even use mobile devices. Now imagine creating a solution for them to be able to communicate. Now there are AI models that are being created that are able to help with what's it called again? Language translations, right? But again, if they don't know how to use their phones, they will not be able to communicate. So I think we still have to fall back to the archaic method of communication, having interpreters to be able to pass that information.
Okay.
But once we're able to get more people informed about how to use their mobile devices, and easier for them, then it's easier for them to be able to understand how to use them for language translations and all.
Okay. So I would have jumped in on that, but we don't have time. As I'm a language consultant, and I would have jumped in on that because one of the things we are looking at is creating materials in indigenous languages to ensure that the local farmers, the people in the rural areas, in any in diverse fields, are able to communicate and be part of what is going on in the city, as it were. So you are part of the system. But because of the time we have, I want to take the last question. Meanwhile, I came across a guy that does something in tech and language that can be used on the Touchlight phone. And he calls it Sophia AI. I think one Wisdom Okubo. So when we are done with this, one of the big questions coming up from Making Nigeria conference is, how do we drive that idea of sensitization for our rural areas, all the elderly people, on the use of technology, the basic use of technology? So now this last question is to you, Fubara. When you heard our speakers talk earlier, they talked about policy. And I reserve this question for you. Policy, policy, policy. How do we shape policies, or how do we influence policies that are farmer friendly? You know, sad enough, early this year, I brought in some people from the Canadian Deputy High Commission. So I spoke to the Canadian government and I said, come to River State. Everything happens in Abuja, Lagos, and the north. Do you agree with me? A lot of intervention happens in the north. A lot. EU intervention, all of this, a lot. United Nations and all. And so I said, the government of Canada needs to come into River State and explore what can be done. But sadly, when the government of Canada agreed to eventually come into River State, they came in. They came in March. I brought them to River State. But sadly, it met the state of emergency, which makes River State look like a place that is not ready for investments and for investors. Because when you come in with investors, you meet a harsh condition, and then they have to go back. And on that team that came from Canada, one man answered one of the questions we asked here, the issue of oil refining, not crude oil refining now, but palm oil and groundnut oil refining. He came in and he was ready to invest $200 million in building an oil refinery here in River State. But we met the state of emergency. How do we drive policies that does not rubbish the impact and the input of young people like myself, like himself, who are trying to push the narrative in a different way for River State? I'm asking you that question because of your second position that you hold as the SA. How do we influence positive policies? Thank you.
All right. Question is big. Okay. The question is, how do we drive positive policies or influence positive policy that would help the agri business? All right. I'll come from this angle. The truth is, first off, it is through ourselves, like through us, everybody that is seated here, because part of the processes of policy formation, it's getting to know the opinions of the stakeholders. You need to get all the stakeholders involved. We are all the stakeholders. There's nobody that can form better policies than all of us that are already in practice. Okay, so we are the ones who would need to come together, right? I want to believe that the organizer of this program, Pastor Uche, would, by God's grace, have a long-term vision to not just settle everything here, but to, like someone mentioned, get a kind of communique out of this event and then move it to another level, which is maybe trying to interface with the government. The government can be state government or local government. I'm going to come to that. But talking about policy, if we want to look at it at the state level, policy is like paper. It's a paperwork, basically, right? And the most important part of policy is the execution of what is written in the policy. We have many policies. We have lots of policies in agriculture, in tech, in whatever. They are there, trust me. We have policies. But the problem is the human part of the policy. So it's not even about we coming up with another policy. I understand the place of coming up with policy as per maybe when some policies are outdated, very old policies, you might want to review them. But apart from that, but if we want to talk about coming up with new policies, that might not be the way to go because we have a lot of them. If we can even harness 20% or 10% of what is written on paper that is already existing, we'll be fine, we'll be good, right? So that is it. So that policy, the policy you're talking about, it requires human cooperation, people to drive it, the persons that are there, right, in the various ministries that are kept in charge, to oversee those kind of policies like the Ministry of Agriculture and all that. So it requires their cooperation. It requires their cooperation. And we might sit back and say, oh, they are not cooperating or they are not doing what they are supposed to do. But it is still our responsibility to engage. I'll repeat it again. It is still our responsibility to engage them. So I'll try to scale down the policy thing into something that we can even practicalize. As from here, we can just practicalize it, because if we want to wait for the state, it's a high thing, right? Thank God we have almost all the arms of government together now. Imagine if they were not together. If you're talking about policy, that means the House of Assembly, they need to agree on it and all that. It takes a whole lot of process. So that's a far-fetched thing. I don't even want to go on that one. I want to try to bring it down to our level. So government is divided into different arms, different levels. State government is there, federal government is there. But we can, if we really want to engage, we can begin from the local government. We can begin from the local government. We are so blessed. We have Ikwere local government, Eche local government. The amount of land that is in those local governments is massive, right? It's really massive. So what, for me, I think we can do it. Are there people from Ikwere here? Are there people from Eche here? Okay, so if you're from Ikwere and you're from Eche and you have a little bit of tech knowledge and you're a farmer and you're hearing this now, you should be able to engage with this, what I'm about to say, or the suggestion or the idea I'm about to give to you. So we have the local government, right? And it's easier to pass, in my opinion, with my little experience, it's easier, or you can actually start something meaningful by beginning from that lowest part that is accessible to you, which is the local government, If you're from Eche, you're from Ikwere, you're from Ogoni, or whatever local government you're from, it can even happen that you have one or two relationship with the local government chairman. He is the person that have been kept to oversee everything that is happening, that is to happen in that local government. Now, most times, once they come into the office, it's possible also that they might not necessarily have a full grasp of what they need to do or how they would even go about it, right? So, like I said, policy is just a plan. It's just an idea and a body of ideation that's on paper that is supposed to be executed. You can come up with I choose to call it a micro policy or a micro roadmap for your community, for your local government, right? You can come up with that. Most times, once they come into the office, the local government, Ministry of Local Government Affairs, they usually have a training session and orientation session for all of them, to give them one or two orientations, give them good ideas on what they can do, right? Even if you're not opportune to be in that training section for you to pass this to them, because you're from Eche, Ogoni, wherever you're from, you can find your way to these people, especially once they come into office before they start really engaging. You find your way to them. You come up with your own policy. You don't wait for everybody to want to gather together, the government to create policies. The billionaires of this world, they did not wait for any government to create any policy. So if you're waiting for the government to create policy, execute it and all that, I don't know. I don't know when you start shining. So you can come up with your own body of documents, right? The convener of this meeting can come up with a communique and get in contact with all the local government chairmen. Trust me, all these things we've said here, if we go to them and give them that idea, they would welcome it. They would welcome it, and by God's grace, the next other question will be, are they willing to engage in it? But you have to try, right? You have to try. So talking about still on the policy thing, you can generate your own policy, meet them, and engage with them at that level. It's something that is much more sustainable, because if anything happens, let's say maybe that government ceases to exist, right? If that government ceases to exist, at least a local government is a smaller gathering of people. Yeah. They can find a way to ensure that that thing is still working, because everybody knows everybody. They know his family house, they know this, they know this, they know this chief. They can just put their heads together and make sure it is still continuing. So for me, I would say it's easier at at
At
that
the
level.
local government levels.
At the local government level.
All right. So thank you so much. So our farmers, you've heard it. If you want to clap, you can clap, please. So you can push the narrative through the local government councils. You can get across to them. So there may be a young person here today who is poised and pushed or inspired by what has been said here. All you need to do is go back and push the narrative through your local government chairman. I'm sure we have new local government chairmen already, and they've been sworn in, they've been commissioned to start working. So you can begin to engage them and see if you cannot get them directly, get them through directors in the local government or through all of those local government heads, see how you can push the narrative to them. But I wouldn't want to put you on the spot, but I would say, while we encourage our farmers to push through the local government, every year after the Make in Nigeria conference, we come up with a communique, and it is submitted to the government of the state, because the Make in Nigeria conference is not a program held at the local government level. It's a program held at the state level and broadcasted through the nation and then to the rest of the world. So it's not just the population you see in the hall. We have a lot of online population watching as well. So, not to put you on the spot, but let me advise that when we come up with the communique for this year, as the special advisor to the governor on tech, ensure that you try to create a pathway for the communique to find an easy landing on the governor's desk, so we see how we can push from there. Have I spoken your mind? Can you clap if I've spoken your mind? At this point, we'll draw the panel to a conclusion. So for my panelists, can you give them a big round of applause one more time? They have been special, they have been wonderful, they have been awesome. Keep clapping till they take their seats, and then we'll take up the next line of exhibitors. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I know we have clapped a lot today, but please, can you give them another sound round of applause? That was really, really beautiful. Because of time, I wouldn't want to dwell much and make much comments to that. So we'll go straight into the exhibitors brand. So please, do we have Zoom 36 here? Zoom 36, are they here? After Zoom 36, we'll have the Hanu Wares should also get ready. Hanu Wares should get ready. Ginger Herbal Extract, are they here? We are running fast. J Beds and Craft, are they here? Are they here? Zoom 36, are they here? Okay, I guess they are not here. So move on quickly, right? We should move on quickly because we are behind time. Okay, so let's go straight into the announcement before we call it a wrap and go for the raffle draw. So let's just go straight into the announcement. Remember, the conference continues tomorrow. So please, I would like us to cascade down this information. Just imagine that you bring 2 persons. It's free of charge. A whole lot have been gleaned here today. And in the course of the week, please try and bring someone. Don't be stingy with this information. Tell a family friend, tell someone, a loved one, tell someone that you feel that needs to be here tomorrow. Very, very important. So please, the conference continues tomorrow, so make sure that you are here and you invite someone. I also want to remind those of us that bought the book by Mr. Philip Britton. The masterclass holds today at 4:30 p.m. at the Overflow Hall. So please, if you bought the book, don't forget the masterclass. It promises to be awesome. And if you also want to buy the book is also still available. So make sure that you do that so that you can join the masterclass. Okay, I think that's all for now. Okay. So before we call it a wrap, we have another exhibitor here. Please, a round of applause as we welcome Elanco for their brief talk. Please, you have 3 minutes. Please, let's put our hands together for him as he comes.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akinlolu Olasami. I'm the Managing Director of Elanco Services Limited. We've been speaking a lot about fusion between agriculture and, the IT. And one of the very important things, one of the things we've heard today is about networking, distribution, and all of that. At Elanco Services Limited, we are into traveling. We are into ticketing, local and international ticketing. We are into hotel reservations. If you want to study abroad, you can consult with us. If you want to relocate and all of that. Now, how do we put agriculture and IT into all of this? We also have programs and packages that can help you with the distribution, the networking you need to sell your products, to move your products from one place to the other. I can give you a very quick example. We recently had negotiations with the government of Rwanda on some of the agricultural businesses they would want people to bring into their country. We have a list of about 28 businesses like that in the agricultural sector that they would want brought into their country. If you would like to know more about any of these things, your leisure travel, travel for business, travel to invest in another country, and so on and so forth, whatever it is, as regards traveling, our stand is at B31 downstairs. We are happy to hear your request and tend to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, so very quickly before we go for the raffle draw, please, if you are here to buy your raffle draw ticket, please, you can do that. You can see our ushers, they are with it. Yesterday we had lots of winners, and today you can be a winner. It's even possible that you won yesterday and you win again today. Can somebody shout hallelujah? Okay. So for businesses, please, I would like to use this opportunity to tell you that you can register for the Make in Nigeria Business Group. We have been talking a whole lot about collaboration or partnership, being in that same ecosystem with people like minds that do the same thing that you do. So please, we would like you to take an ample opportunity to register for this. The Make in Nigeria Business Group, makeinnigeria.com/business empowerment. makeinnigeria.com/business empowerment, or you can also scan the barcode on the screen so that you can join this group. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure making your acquaintance today. But before we call it a final wrap, we'll move for the raffle draw. Like I said, make sure that you buy your ticket so that you can stand a chance of winning awesome prizes that we have. We started with an opening prayer, and it's very important that we close with a closing prayer. Do we have a pastor here, a priest here, here? Someone that can help us to take the closing prayer? I have to, na collabo. So who wants to go? Let her go. Thank you so much, sir.
Please, can we stand up while we take the closing prayer? In the name of Jesus, Abba, Father, we thank you for making it a success. We commit all of us into your able hand as we are convening here tomorrow. We pray, oh Lord, that you will guide us. Even the convener, oh Lord, we pray that you replenish us. Thank you for prayer answers in Jesus' name.
Amen and amen. So we'll move down for the raffle draw. If you are sitting with someone and you don't know the person's name, you don't have the person's contact, that person might be your destiny helper. Please don't come here and leave without getting somebody's number. You can share your card, your business card with someone. Make sure that you talk to someone and find out what they do for a living. Your next business deal might depend on it. So please, let's go straight for the raffle draw.